financial concerns and provide a proactive co-parenting strategy. It helped us avoid chaos and courtrooms.
For a no-cost consultation, visit fairwaydivorce.com.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care, exploring Edmonton from the Science Center to Horlock Park. I see your lawns and cringe a little. Weeds are here. And you've got them, Edmonton. Take your lawn back with our guaranteed lawn care programs and unlimited weed control.
Green Drop has been Canada's lawn expert since 1979. And they're in your community.
Knicks were down by 22 with 7.5 to play.
That include fertilizer, weed control,
And an Obi.
Visit greendrop.com.
It's Bedlam here at the Garden.
Canadians do not have a doctor. We have a crisis. Canada's Medical Clinic is opening clinics across Canada to allow everyone to have a doctor to call their own. Early detection saves lives. We've got some great news. You can call now and book an appointment with your new doctor.
Austin at first.
More good news. Canada's Medical Clinic is also now a walk-in.
It's the first career home run.
Hi, your Safeway PA announcer here. Our medium ground chuck burgers come in plain, cheddar, bacon, and our newest seasoning, all dressed. All you need to prepare is the grill, because your job is fire and our job is flavor. And right now, they're only $8.99 a pound. For this and more great summer deals, check our flyer at safeway.ca. Say hello.
Doesn't think that. Columbus takes on their first lead 2-1.
The stress, the constant worry.
Makes it not meet Canada regulation if they ran the table, which might be a bigger if than we thought, but
Things melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Has been all over it all day. It's Columbus takes on their first lead 2-1.
On Sports 1440.
And an Obi floats it over to Shaman. Shaman a three-pointer. It's good. Tie game with 44 seconds to go. What a bounce for Shaman. It's Bedlam here at the Garden.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Second Walshman at first. Marquez fly ball. Guess what? The Diamondbacks win it. It's the first career walk-off home run for Cale Makar.
What a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. We always appreciate it. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar's running things on the social, so be sure to say hi, give him a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Make his day every day. Look at that number. Just go by one a day. It's not a big deal. It's pretty simple. Well, obviously we'd like more than one, but hey, start somewhere. It's all good. So how you doing? There's lots and lots to discuss in the world of sports. We got a loaded show. We're talking hockey with Rupper. We got some football with Naylor, hockey with Woodley and Struddy and Speck. Got some stats of the day. They're going to blow your mind coming up a little bit later on. We're also going to hear a scouting report on Bruce Cassidy. Now, Bruce Cassidy had an interesting career. A lot of people, I think, might have forgot his time with the Washington Capitals because it was short-lived. He had 1 year. They made the playoffs, lost in the first round. Then the next year, that was the Jaromir Jagr Washington Capitals. And he lasted 25 games his second season. And he had a pretty memorable rant after his team losing, and he committed a little bit of a sin, young coach. And he was 37 when he got his first head coaching job in the NHL. And that's when he, talked, well, I don't care if guys got family issues, you play hard. And you know what? A few of the players at the time, they had kids and wives that were sick. And so that did not go over very well. And he learned from it. Then he had to pay his dues for basically, the next decade or so. He was coaching in the OHL. He was coaching the AHL. And he was with Providence for, I think, 6 years, 4 as a head coach, 2 as an assistant coach. Then he got promoted in 2016-17. That's a long time between NHL stints for Bruce Cassidy. Hey, sometimes, you know what? You got to learn. And I'm sure there were some that were like, we're never going to hire him again. Because he went from coaching in 2004 and didn't get another one until 2016-17 in the NHL as a head coach. So took a while. But since he's been back in, and here's the thing, in the 9 full seasons he's coached, he's never missed the playoffs. He's won a cup. He's been in the final. He's been in the second round 4 times. So he's had a lot of success. 4 times outside of the final chance. So 6 times at least he's won a playoff round out of 9. So it's pretty good. And then obviously the 1 year he got let go after 25 games. And then the other year in Boston, he made the playoffs, lost in the first round when he took over from Claude Julien, who had been the head coach for a decade. And you know what? That to me, they kind of brought him in. They promoted him from Providence, and they're just kind of maybe waiting. Claude Julien being around for a decade. He got to be assistant coach for 55 games and took over and had a lot of success. Never had a losing record, man. You look in 50 wins, 49 wins, 44 wins, 33 wins in 56 games, 51 wins, 45 wins, 50 wins last year in Vegas. And then this year, obviously, they were struggling coaching change. So we heard McCrimmon yesterday say that, wow, you know what? We're in the playoffs. We're focusing on the playoffs, which reminded me of the greatest Seinfeld line ever. It's not a lie, Jerry, if you believe it, from George Costanza. And so Vegas can tell themselves that they're focusing on the playoffs, which they are. But a 30-second reply to say, yes, we give you permission to talk to Bruce Cassidy is not going to ruin their focus on the playoffs. But it's within their rights. As I said, they play the villain very well. Now, because they said we're focused on the playoffs, does that mean when they're done the playoffs, they'll grant permission? Maybe. And I'm guessing some teams are going to wait for that. When Cassidy got hired by Vegas, he'd been fired by the Bruins on June 6th that year. Now, Vegas had fired their coach May 14th. So they'd been, 3 weeks without a head coach? Cassidy got fired. 8 days later, he was the new head coach of Vegas. They won the Stanley Cup 11 months later. Pretty good hire. Seemed to work out for them. So I'll talk to, I had a conversation with a current member of the Vegas Golden Knights who played under Bruce Cassidy for his entire time when he was the head coach in Vegas, who's currently tied the NHL record for most shorthanded goals in one playoff season, Brett Howden. So we'll play that. Got his thoughts on Cassidy. Is he a hard-ass coach? What's his best traits as coach? How's his personality? We can look at the numbers. And the numbers tell us one thing, but what about some other things? Some interesting answers, actually, from Howden. And then, of course, we asked him about Tortorella and also got into, his unreal run. He's got 8 goals. 8 goals for Brett Howden in this postseason right now for the Vegas Golden Knights, which is a pretty impressive run for him, no question. So, and hey, the first when they won he had 5 goals and 10 points as a depth guy. That was really his first time in the playoffs as a member of the Vegas Golden Knights. 5 goals, 10 points, and he's more productive in the playoffs than he is in the regular season for sure. But he's got 8 in 12. He's got 11 goals in his last 23 playoff games. So not bad for Brett Howden. He's got 10 points this year in 12 games. So playing pretty well. So we'll get to that as well coming up in about 15 minutes. It's always good, I think, we can all discuss, hey, who do they think they want? Well, why? Why do they want? Who, what, when, where, why, how? It's always the easiest ones. You want to get some answers? We'll ask those questions. So there you go. Also, We will talk a little bit more about the Elks, of course, preseason action coming up this weekend for the green and gold. And they will, everybody's going to play in that game. So that'll be good. Now, let's kick things off a little bit early as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ice Center. And a big personality, a big name, Gene Simmons, is coming to town at Silent Ice Center. 1,600-seat facility. It's a very small, I find the smaller venues are unreal for concerts. A little bit more intimate. It's great. So if you're a big fan of Gene, you want to get your tickets, silenticecenter.com. As a Stanley Cup winner, former NHLer, ace analyst now on the NHL Network, and my co-host on the DFO Rundown, a daily face-off, Mike Rupp joins us. Rupper, how you doing, my man?
What's up, Greggs? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm good. I couldn't do it, Rupper. I couldn't do the beard. I tried to shave it. I couldn't do it. I don't know why I'm scared, but I can't go, but I can't do the sideburns below the ear. I thought about it, and I chickened out after our conversation on the pod.
It's very freeing, freeing, you know? Wait, but here's the problem. When I experiment sometimes with my beard, if you ever see me without a beard, that means I screwed up immensely. Yeah. So that's what I do. I do it, and then I'm like, oh, that's no good, and I change it a little less. Next thing you know, I got no hair in my head at all.
Yeah, that's good. You ever go the goatee? You must have worn a goatee a few times.
Yeah, a few times. I just feel like, hey, man, bald head, you got to have some facial hair. Otherwise it looks a little funny on me.
Yeah, or glasses, so it's good.
Yeah, that's true.
I got the glasses lots, so there you go. But yeah, I find a goatee sometimes with shaved head. It's like everybody just assumes you want to be in a motorcycle gang, and I'm not.
Yeah, and everyone thinks you're like ready to fight too. Yeah, it's like, no, man, I'm just trying to look normal. That's it.
Yeah, like the beard, you have facial hair. No one thinks you're a fighter. All of a sudden, it's a goatee, and everyone's like, "Oh, that guy thinks he wants to fight now." It's a weird, it's a weird thing. We got NHL playoffs beginning tonight, conference final, and injuries can even things out quickly. Rupper, no Cale Makar for tonight for the Colorado Avalanche, and I just wonder, like, obviously that's a pretty big blow. Good teams got to find a way to win without it, but. You know, how much of an advantage do you think this could be for Vegas now tonight without Makar?
It's something they need to take advantage of. I just think the way that this Colorado team is built, not necessarily the back end. I think the back end's going to feel it without Cale Makar. But I just think the way that the team play, the forward depth, the way that team is capable of controlling a hockey game, I think they could be okay. Like, I don't think it's like most teams, a lot of teams, if you sit there and you're like, hey, we're going to take away their best player or arguably their best player, you'd wonder, can they still make it through a round? And we don't know if they're going to need to make it through a round without Cale Makar, but just, looking at the worst case scenario, I think this team could still win without him. But it's certainly a big loss, and it's something I think more so on the Vegas side. Like, you got to take full advantage. So we talk about the break that a team like Colorado has had, and maybe not knowing how sharp they're going to be coming out of the gates here. Now you take away their best defenseman, one of the best defensemen in the world. For me, it kind of just feels like Vegas has to win this game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, every game's going to be very difficult for them to win, I feel like, in this series. But when you have no Cale Makar, you got to take full advantage.
Yeah, 100%. So, I think Nathan McKinnon, who's been playing great, looks and says, you know what? I think I'm going to try to become the 10th guy to have a 7-game goal-scoring streak in the NHL playoffs. Like, I just... tonight's one of those nights where, hey, you're out with one of your best players, and one of your other best guys has to show up even more.
Yeah, that's what you're going to look for. That's why this team's so dangerous, because they have the best defenseman in the world, and however you want to chalk it up, top 5, top 3 player in the world up front at the forward position. So, and you know what? That's the big thing with him too. Is remember. When you looked at just kind of Nathan McKinnon, even coming out of round 1, I don't think anybody's ever concerned, like, hey, why is Nathan McKinnon not scoring like we know we can? And they've had so much depth scoring in the playoffs, but he's gotten going now. So you can start seeing that extra little hop in his step, and he's shooting the puck. And it feels like one of those moments that he's going to step up without a Cale Makar. So, it's you may avoid one superstar, but you got another one that could certainly take over the game at any given point.
What about Vegas? William Carlson came back late in the last round, and that's a huge boost for them. Just, that line of Carlson and Howden and Martin are really rolling, and Carlson just you know what? He's a very smart player. He can be a guy that you couldn't play Carlson against any other line, right? So I'll be kind of curious. I know that like Bednar doesn't shy away and worry about matchups too much. He tries to get McKinnon out on some offensive zone faceoffs, but other than that, he's not worried about it because he's like, hey, I got McKinnon, I got Nelson, away we go. How do you think Tortorella does on the road? Like, is it just say, hey, I've tried to get Carlson out there? What do you think he wants to do against McKinnon?
I think Torts is more of a lot of teams will just be more concerned, I guess, with getting the right D pair out there against certain guys. So against Nathan McKinnon, maybe you want to get a particular D pair out there. I don't think he's going to chase forward matchups, but having William Karlsson back is so huge for this team because you've got the likes. I mean, they've got a strong center ice there in Vegas, but we talk about what Jack Eichel's done in the last number of seasons, just how good he's been on both sides of the puck. They need him to generate offense. They just simply do against a team like Colorado. So having William Karlsson back can take away some of that focus on him to do too much and take some of that off his plate. But I think it also can free up Tomas Hertl quite a bit too. So when you got a William Karlsson on the line with Mitch Marner, and Mitch Marner's a Selke finalist in years past, where hey, I mean, these two going out there, I mean, maybe that is something that Torres can do. Just try to sit there. I don't think they have a real favorable D matchup that I would feel very comfortable with that's going to really slow Nathan McKinnon down. But you don't want to disrupt too many things in your forward group as well. But William Karlsson's kind of that X factor for me. So I can't wait to see what he brings, how he's used. But you nailed it. He's a guy that can throw a wrench in the other team's plans.
Mike Rupp joins us from the NHL Network. Tomorrow night, we got Carolina finally. They're actually still in the league. They just haven't played in 2 weeks, but they will be playing against the Montreal Canadiens. The Hurricanes have gone the fewest possible games to get to the conference final. Montreal has played the maximum at 7 games each, whereas Carolina's 4. Do you think the fatigue will be that much of a factor, or is Carolina just too good regardless of rest?
I mean, the fatigue, I think, will be a factor later on in the series. I think it's kind of the same thing that we just talked about as far as Vegas and Colorado. Like, I think Montreal needs to strike early in the series and try to take advantage of any kind of hesitation or just a lack of game speed and game influence that they've had in the last like 2 weeks because they haven't played. So, but it feels like it's a lot. Like that you need. I mean, man, I'm not trying to take anything away from what Montreal has done, but I mean, you've had 2 game 7s that they've kind of, gotten the bounces or kind of got a little lucky, I think, in those game 7s. I just don't feel like you're gonna need more than just luck against a team like Carolina. So I think that that their power play has been really good for them, Montreal, in the playoffs. Can they do that against an elite PK? I mean, they're going to show you something different looks. They're going to pressure you. I mean, for me, that's the one way they can kind of hang in the series is if they have that power play cooking hot. But then again, who does that against Carolina? Nobody. So it's going to be a struggle. I can't imagine Carolina having a tough time, but it's the NHL playoffs. I mean, we've seen Jakub Dobeš steal a game. I mean, I think you're going to need 2 stolen games in the series. Like you're going to need at least 2. Was it a goaltender performance? Is it, a lackluster performance in the goaltending department for Carolina? Like maybe that's 1 game. Like I don't believe that Montreal is going to outplay the Carolina Hurricanes 4 times.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. And it's not that Montreal's not a good team. Carolina right now is rolling, and they're going to have to find a way to slow down the Hall line because they're killing. Like they destroyed Ottawa, dominated Philadelphia. To me, that's going to be the test. At some point, I still got to think that Svechnikov, Jarvis, and Aho are going to really make an appearance. I know, like Aho scored 2 empty net goals in 1 game, but look at his overall production. It really hasn't been, and they haven't needed it, which is crazy to say because that one line has been so dominant.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about, this is kind of battle, I think, on both sides where you've had your top guys not necessarily playing to their potential. So what's going to give for both teams top players? And if they could get those 5-on-5 points, that's Taylor Hall has been awesome. And you talked about it, and we've talked about it a couple of times where they've been so aggressive in the way they're playing and they've had elite penalty killing. So that was something I think that was always a little bit of an issue in the past is like when you started playing Carolina a little more physically, can they handle that? I thought it maybe at times made them become unraveled in past years, but recently that's not the case. Like they're almost initiating it. So it's going to be fantastic. We've had quite a bit of complementary lines for both teams that have stepped up in big ways. I think this series, we're going to see the big boys for each squad step up.
Okay. What did you make of like Vancouver basically cleaned house everywhere, right? They got 2 new presidents. They got a new GM. Now they're going to have an entire new coaching staff. And I think it was probably necessary. They needed to clean everything because lots of their issues were, I believe, self-inflicted from just dysfunction in that organization. They're going to go into a rebuild now. How long do you think Elias Pettersson stays in Vancouver?
Oh man. Yes, I don't know. It's tough to put a number on that. I think there's still always something in you that's like, well, can this year be different? Can another change be enough of a change for him to get back to somewhere near the player he once was? That's the main thing. Because I think at this stage of the game too, are you sitting there? I don't think you ever want to look at a franchise player that you're paying like a franchise player to potentially dump them somewhere. Like that's not good either. So nobody really wants to take that on, or you're not going to get any kind of reciprocated value in a trade. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's the main thing is just, you heard Ryan Johnson talking about it. I thought he was pretty good just about no expectations, just to taking as much as he can off of Elias Pettersson's plate and just see what that can do for him, and having the Sedins more a part of things. Like I wonder what that can do. But this is a player, man. I want to see it. I remember when he was like a 100-point guy or whatever that was. I was thinking to myself, he's got potential to be like a MVP running. Like that's how good I think that he could be, and we just haven't seen anything near that in a number of years. So yeah, I feel bad for Adam Foote in this situation. I'm not inside that room, but I know he's a very good coach. Quinn Hughes ranted and raved about how good and how much he enjoyed that coaching staff there. So just the cruelness of the business sometimes to get rid of the stink, you got to get rid of all the stink, and it's just cleaning house when maybe people don't deserve it. So hopefully he lands on his feet and gets another opportunity somewhere else.
Looking at Vegas, and I kind of chuckle, Rupper. Like, I don't know if you're a big Seinfeld fan or not, but I'm a huge fan. And there's like a line in that show from every storyline. And, when George Costanza once says, Jerry, it's not a lie if you believe it. And it's a classic line. And really, that was McCrimmon yesterday. We've told teams that, we're focusing on the playoffs. Like, I don't discount you're focusing on the playoffs, but sending a 30-second response, yes, you can talk to Bruce Cassidy, who's not around our team. Come on. It has nothing to do with it. But it's within their right. Now, by them saying we've told teams we're focused on the playoffs, do you think that once the playoffs are over, they will grant permission to Bruce Cassidy to interview teams?
I think so. I think there's been some nasty PR for them over the last week or two. You go back to the situation with the no press conference or no coach availability. I think they're going to try to clean it up in some way, and I think that's probably a way to do it. I don't think they want to do it. And quite frankly, I don't blame them in a lot of ways. They're exercising their, I guess, power in that situation. But at the end of the day, too, the one part that kind of got me is, we're focused on the playoffs. So just like you're saying, it only takes 30 seconds to say yes. Well, it also takes 30 seconds just to say no. Just say, hey, you're not going in the Pacific. That's it. So you got 24 other teams. We will grant you. I'm just making up a scenario. Like that takes 30 seconds also. So you don't want to make it a distraction because you're in the middle of the playoffs, but this is what everybody's talking about. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what comes about this. Bruce Cassidy is a very desired coach out there, and I just think at some point, just to tell him even what the scenario is. No one in the Pacific. All right, cool. I don't agree with it, but we can at least move on, and everybody can go about their business.
Yeah, and that's fair. So we'll see if you're Edmonton and you're LA and you're Toronto, do you wait and see, okay, because if Vegas loses this round, then technically maybe they'll say, okay, now you can talk to someone. Like that's, June 1st, give or take a few days, right? So like I've looked at like Cassidy when he got hired was June 14th by Vegas. Like there's no rush for any of these teams to have to get their coach in place right away.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's not. You want to make sure you got the right guy. So I think you're gonna have teams waiting to at least speak to Bruce Cassidy. I mean, he's the main guy. That's why I was kind of surprised. No, I'm not surprised because they even like New Jersey, for an example, just saying, "Hey, Sheldon Keefe's good. We're gonna move forward with Sheldon Keefe still." I think is a conviction of what they believe in Sheldon Keefe or want to kind of see through. And with that being said, there's Craig Berube, there's Bruce Cassidy, there's other coaches available, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that it's not a ton of time, but you've got your, I think that's the one misconception in some regards. I think most people know that, but like the coaches aren't really that dialed in with the draft, like that. You have all those draft people in position for the most case. So that stuff is kind of already taken care of. So I think you wait for your appropriate guy and you see if you get the opportunity to speak to him.
Yeah. Very fair. One other one for you, Rupper. How much you make of the World Championships? As far as, and I asked that question because young order forward Isaac Howard scored again. He's got 3 goals already in the tournament. He had a really good rookie campaign. I know some people think it's a disappointment because he wasn't a full-time player in the NHL, and I'm like, dude, there's nothing wrong with learning the game at the American League level. But he played 40 between the 2 leagues. He played 76 games. Now he's playing at the World Championship. How much do you take away from the World Championships to see, hey, like maybe this guy's a legit NHLer next year?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's great, especially a young player. You get the opportunity to go there. Like you need to go and you need to make the most of it. And I think it's an opportunity because you start seeing what some of these rosters are bringing over there. Like, you've got like a team Switzerland. I mean, the Canadian roster is pretty damn good. So you start looking around and what some of these teams are bringing. It's a great eye-opening experience in some regards. It's a little bit different. I think it allows you, I don't know, I remember as a young player too, when you're trying to carve your way out into the league, it's like the sooner you feel comfortable about, I guess, quote unquote, being an NHLer, then you can kind of your growth can start. And I think going and being around different players and around different guys that have been around a lot longer than you have, I think it almost makes you feel more comfortable in your own skin in the National Hockey League. So, I never went and played the World Championships. I think it would have served me really well because you would have felt like, all right, I've got these things under my belt. I've got these experiences. So now when you go to your NHL training camp or go to your respective club, you belong. So yeah, these are great moments for young players. I think all players, and you want to see them take full advantage.
Rupper, always good to catch up, everybody. Who are you picking? Who's going to the Stanley Cup final?
Ooh, I'm going to stick with my original. I got Vegas. I got Vegas upset in Colorado and Carolina. So Vegas, Carolina.
Vegas, Carolina. Ooh, well, yeah, you picked Vegas at the start. All right.
I mean, do I feel great about that right now? Not really, because Colorado looks unreal. But I gotta see it through. I think there's a world. I think there is a world, especially in Game 1, if they can make the goaltending a story. It's been sort of lukewarm a story in Colorado, but not too much. Can you imagine a bad Game 1 for their goaltending? And like all of a sudden that's going to be the hot topic. And they don't probably deserve that. The team doesn't deserve that because they're really good, but that's the nature of the beast. So I think you can start planting a seed of doubt here in Game 1, but it's a massive Game 1 for Vegas.
Love it, Rupper. Always good to talk to you, buddy. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks. You too, bud.
That's Mike Rupp from the NHL Network and a DFO rundown on Daily Face-Off with yours truly. Coming up, player scouting report on Bruce Cassidy. Is he hard on players? What's his personality as a coach? What's his best trait as a coach? Find out next on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul. Edmonton Trailer.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
The sun's out, the pavement's warm, and that low rumble of a Harley rolling by? Oh yeah, that's calling your name. This is riding season, and if you've been thinking about a new ride, Harley-Davidson of Edmonton has the one that'll get your heart pumping. With a huge selection of new and pre-owned bikes, there's one waiting for you. Whether you're upgrading or just getting started. And while you're there, ask about test rides, because the only way to know is to ride it. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980, or at hdedmonton.com.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's Famous Tent Sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. And unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set. All of this for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's Tent Sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots, and oh no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Summer is calling. Is your vehicle ready for the road trip? Get ready for the season at Niscu Ford with offers that turn up the heat. Right now, you choose how you save. Finance your new vehicle with rates as low as 0%. Or choose massive cash rebates as high as $12,500. Whether you're hauling the boat or packing up the family, we have the Ford you need for your summer adventures. Start your summer upgrade at niscuford.ca. Niscu Ford, above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ul.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ul.ca, your partners in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at playalberta.ca. And we got lots to get to on the games tonight. NHL, hey, we got some beauties at playalberta.ca. Little Jays, Dalton Varshaw's red hot. So we're going to try to cash in on that. And how about a little Spurs OKC action tonight? Man, if you're not watching the NBA playoffs, you are missing out. Game 1 of the Spurs Thunder was amazing on Monday night. Stellar game, double overtime, was awesome. And then last night, now the game for the longest part didn't seem like it was great because the Knicks are getting pounded on home floor. Kind of role reversal last year. Remember when they were the Pacers had the stunning comeback, made all the shots in game 1, and Knicks Nation was just stunned? Well, last night, they're trailing 93-71 late in the game. 93-71 with 8 minutes to go. Then they go on a 13-11 run to tie the game at 104. And then you get to overtime, and they outscore them 11-1. How the hell do you only score 1 point in overtime? Cavs were brutal. But the Knicks, man, they pressured and they went after them, and that's one of the greatest comebacks you'll ever see. They were 75% from the field down the stretch. It was pretty damn good. It's crazy to watch. So I got some stats of the day on that one. And if you're a James Harden fan, you're not going to like it. So we'll get into that and some other stuff. How about eat our stats today? We're even going across the pond to talk a little Premier League, because you got some stuff going on over there that hasn't happened in quite some time. And something that I know we have fans here in Edmonton and surrounding area in Canada that are big fans. They got a team that you cheer for in the Premier League. Nothing wrong for it. I love it. Like, I always chuckle at people like, why are you a fan of that team? Why not? What's wrong with it? Like, who cares why they cheer for somebody in the Premier League? Maybe they like a team. Doesn't matter. I've never understood that. Always like, why do you cheer for them? You don't get to watch the games. How do you know? Like, trust me. Saturday mornings, man, there's people like those, you diehards. They're watching all the games. No different than you watching all the Oilers games. It's just at a different time of day. So, anywho, there's some stats from that. We got some MLB, something we haven't seen in quite some time. And one organization that just seems to do something better than everybody in the playoffs. I should say somebody from their organization. I don't even know why. Maybe we'll have to dig into it. It's like a freak little thing. But we'll get to all that in our stats today. But first, we're going to get to the oil report brought to you by by GoAuto.ca. If you need a vehicle, just think of what's your favorite color. I really want black. No, I want red. Well, guess what? They got 15,000 vehicles to choose from. Any color, any model, they will have it. At over 73 locations. Find yours today at GoAuto.ca. And so, there's lots of talk about Bruce Cassidy. I think Bruce Cassidy's a good coach. Okay, but why? Why do we think it? Well, we look at the record. His teams win. It's a pretty good sign. But let's dig a little bit deeper. So I caught up with Brett Howden from the Vegas Golden Knights to get his thoughts. And my first question was, what does he feel is Cassidy's best trait as a coach?
I think he is probably the most intelligent coach I've had. He's really, really smart, knows the game so well. I just think he's really good on the fly with adjusting our game to who we're playing, or when we need to switch something up because another team is playing good against us, maybe a certain way against our system. He was really good at changing on the fly kind of thing. But yeah, I think he's just a really smart hockey guy. Like, he just knows the game really well.
Lots of people say that he can be hard on players. Where'd you come out on it? Is that a myth, do you think, or is he pretty demanding?
Well, I think he's hard on players when he needs to be. I think if we're going through a rough patch or something like that, and he needs more from his players or more from his top end players, he's not afraid to, kick them in the butt and, try to get things going that way. But yeah, that's how I found him. I found when it was needed, he kind of knew he had to do it.
How is he as personality wise?
I think coming back to what I said before, especially in practice, if he saw we were slacking a little too much in practice, he'd tighten the reins a little bit. But we're working hard and we're still having fun doing it. And he wasn't afraid to have fun that way. I think he got a good feel for a room when he came over from Boston, just realizing that we work hard, but we like to have fun doing it. And I think he kind of embraced that a little bit early when he came over. So I think that's some of his qualities, that he can go both ways, where he can have some fun, but when it's time to get serious, it's time to tighten it up.
You mentioned he wasn't afraid to hold his top guys accountable. How did he make sure, every guy in the team felt involved?
Well, the year we won, I'm just thinking back. Actually, I do remember one speech he gave us. So we were up 3-0 against Dallas in the conference finals, and we lost the next two. We were up 3-2 going back to Dallas, and we were going there for game 6, and we had a meeting the night before. I remember when we all left the meeting, we were ready to go, and it was the night before. I just remember, it's so vivid. I just remember the meeting being, enough is enough. Like, we were slacking a lot of the games. What did we want our legacy to be, kind of thing. And I think it was a much needed meeting for us. And we went out that, I think we won 6-0 that next game. Like I said before, I just think that when you knew it was time to, push the buttons a little bit of the top guys, like you knew you'd have to do it. But you look at most players in the league. I mean, they have an idea of when they don't have it. They know, but sometimes you need to reiterate that too as a coach.
Well, there you go. Pretty good scouting report on Cassidy. Probably the most intelligent coach he's ever had. Can demand it on players when you need to be. And like what he said, it starts with your best players. That's just a fact. You've got to get on the same page with your star players. Ken Hitchcock has said that many times. Said, man, you need your best 6, 7 guys. They've got to believe in your message because then they repeat it to the rest of the team. But also, you need to show the rest of the team that if things aren't going the way you want and it's your best guys, well, then they're going to be held accountable. And that has to happen. No question. Now, I did ask Howden because, it's unique. Like, a lot of people are very high on Bruce Cassidy, and it's funny. Like, Bruce Cassidy got fired. I love Bruce Cassidy. Chris Novak got fired. Well, Novak's terrible. He's brutal. He's the reason they lost. Interesting. Right? It's funny how perception is. Now, because Cassidy could be a new coach, everybody's excited for him in Edmonton. They want to disparage Novak. I think both are false. Right? They're different coaches. They both had success. Right? Different reasons. No problem. They both had success. And I think Chris Knobloch will be an NHL coach again when he wants to put his name back in the ring. Don't think it's going to happen right away, but we'll be down the road. I could see him taking some time off, but you get into next October. Like right now, it's easy to sit back. Hey, you know what? I got to catch up and lots of time with the family. It's awesome. It's going to go to Saskatchewan, many other places. Then you get into hockey season. All of a sudden, it's like, well, what the hell do I do now? Right? Summer, you're kind of used to having some time off. You get into the season, and that's every coach is telling me that first kind of September, October, or even August, where you kind of start planning. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, geez, what am I doing? So we'll see. Anyway, I did ask Howden about Tortorella, and was there anything different? What changed? Why the team able to kind of get on a real roll with the coaching change?
He just got traction. I think that was the biggest thing when he first came. It was just a new energy, kind of something new, and we kind of started playing a little bit better the first couple of games, and then we just kind of got on a roll, and then that's when everything just kind of kept flowing a little bit.
And what about you, buddy? 8 goals. You're on fire here in the playoffs. Obviously, you've won a cup, so that's a pretty big deal. But and you were a contributor then too. But right now, man, like shorthanded, you've tied the NHL record already with 3 shorties, and 8 Genos. Like, buddy, you must just be feeling it. The net must look like a soccer goal to you, right?
I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, someone told me that stat. I think Tony told me that stat today. I heard it in the media the night that we won in Anaheim, but Tony told me today, and I just thought it was funny because, like, I don't know, when I'm on the PK in the regular season, I rarely get chances, and then me and Mitch have started PKing a little bit together, and whenever he gets the puck, it's like everybody backs off. So it kind of creates some space, whereas when I get the puck, everybody's coming at me. So it's kind of funny, though. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just, things have been going pretty well. It's nice we got Carlson back, too. That's a huge add. So hopefully we can keep things rolling here.
We'll find out tonight. Vegas against Colorado. Game 1. No Cale Makar. Obviously, that's a benefit for Vegas. They got to take advantage of it. Like, that's the thing. When you're presented with an opportunity, when one of the best players in the opposition is out, you got to win that game. Because I assume Makar is going to return at some point in the series. We don't know when. Might be game 2. You don't want to lose the game without him, and then the other team gets an even bigger boost when he returns. And if, let's say, Colorado loses game 1, they might say, well, geez, maybe we can give Makar an extra day off now, and now he doesn't have to come back till game 3. Right? Like, you never know, depending on it. So I think it's a big game now for Vegas to try to take advantage of no Cale Makar tonight. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, I love the fact you always think different. It's great hearing from a player give their assessment of Cassidy. Hearing he's the most intelligent coach you ever had sounds pretty impressive, but more so the fact that Howden mentioned multiple times that he holds the best players accountable. That's what stood out to me from Nick. He did it multiple times. You're right, Nick. And I do think that's important, right? Howden's not one of their best players. He's an important player on the team. And right now is definitely very important with 8 goals and 10 points in the postseason for them. But you need your best guys. Like, they're going to lead you and you're going to win. Usually you win on the strength of your best players. You have depth guys like a Howden and others who can step up and have great runs. But usually your best scorers, they got to show up in the playoffs. Right? Mitch Marner's producing, Vegas is winning. Jack Eichel's producing, Vegas is winning. Dorofeyev's producing, Vegas is winning. Just how it goes. Look at what's Nathan McKinnon running on a 6-game goal scoring streak right now. He's producing. Usually you win. It's just how it goes. Quick break. When we return, we will talk a little green and gold, more on the Oilers coming up, Woodley as well on goaltending and more. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Did you notice the goalie coach got let go tomorrow? So it'll be yesterday, excuse me, not tomorrow, got let go yesterday. So we'll touch on that and kind of what the off-season coaching goalie carousel is going to look like on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, active lane management, a Park View rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. Hire Good provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.248. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. As always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where tonight the OG of lotteries. Lotto 649. Someone was a big winner last week. So gold ball jackpot, $10 million. Get your tickets. PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost. We're jumping on the VAR show train. He's red hot right now. So hot. 4 hits yesterday. So I got a little VAR show action with the Jays. Man, those are some tough losses. The Jays. Like last year, they'd find a way to win at least one of those games against the Yankees. You're blowing leads. You had a 3-1 lead. You had a 3-0 lead 2 days in a row. You don't win it. That's just the difference right now for the Jays. When they need a clutch hit late in the game, they're not getting it as much as they were last year. Not even close. Right? Like, yeah, Vladdy hit a home run. Yay. Like, he's got one home run in like 28 games. Everyone's like, oh, he gets one. I'm like, no. Like, it's got to hit the ball. Because it's not even a lack of hits. Watch how many of his outs are just what I call soft outs. You know, infield flies, little 6 bouncer to the shortstop. He's not getting a lot of leverage. He's not getting a lot of pop right now at the plate. So they need that. Now, Springer hit a home run yesterday. Maybe that gets him going, but hey, we thought that might do for Vlad. He didn't do it. So VAR show has been rolling now for the last week and a bit. So they're gonna need some other guys to get going to try to get a win tonight as your Savage is on the mound. And preseason in the CFL. Snuck up on us. Played Monday, and now we got some more preseason action getting going this weekend in the CFL as we get to our football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Don't wait till you're too hot. You got swass all over the place. Order it now. No payments, no interest for 1 year. LegacyHeating.ca as TSN football insider Dave Naylor joins us once again. Dave, how you doing, my man?
Very well, Jason. How about yourself?
I am excellent. Looking forward to the CFL season because I'm kind of intrigued. The West last year had 4 teams with 10 wins or more, and a lot of people feel that Edmonton's improved significantly. So it should, on paper, be a pretty tight division.
Oh, I think absolutely. I mean, if you go team by team, I agree. I mean, Edmonton is an ascending team. They were certainly better in the second half than the first half last year. I think they've had a decent year, decent off season in terms of additions. And then you go, okay, BC was, the offensive juggernaut that's got to figure some things out on defense. But certainly when you've got the reigning MOP as a 27-year-old and Nathan Rourke, you know that they're going to be dangerous. Calgary was clubhouse leader for 3/4 of the season last year, unexpectedly. I left Winnipeg for the first time just because, the finances allowed them to really add for the first time in this sort of era under Mike O'Shea and Kyle Walters. They've been mostly retain and lose, not add guys. So they've been able to bump up some things. And Saskatchewan's the great defending Grey Cup champion. So, it's always easy in May to look at everybody looks great and, nobody's had injuries and nobody's lost any games. But I agree with you. I think the West looks like a very tough division again this year.
Yeah, I've found in the CFL, usually spending big in free agency doesn't always work, right? We've seen that for a lot of teams. So I'll be curious to see if it does work for Winnipeg. They're obviously hoping to get more out of Ceresna than Edmonton got out of Ceresna last year. Edmonton's hoping that Robbie Smith can just stay healthy. And, now Edmonton spent some money on their offensive line as well. And clearly that's the area of their team that needed the biggest improvement. and I think has made the biggest improvement.
Yeah, well, and they added Coulter Woodmansey who was, now going to be one of the highest paid offensive linemen in the league. I mean, that's a significant addition to them. And they've got some pieces there. I mean, even a player like Carter O'Donnell, who people don't know very well necessarily because he's still relatively new to the league, right? This is a U of A guy who spent 3 or 4 years in the National Football League, and probably one of those guys who was only going to play in Edmonton, I think, if he was going to come back to the CFL. But that's certainly an area of that they, by adding, spending on Woodmansey tells you, how they prioritize, that in terms of what they're going on for this season. But I think some of the other additions they made are intriguing. I think, I was a big Joe Robustelli fan, last year, watching him with doing his thing in Saskatchewan. I don't know, people I'm sure know the story there that, he comes from a flag football background, came to tackle football fairly late in life, and yet, has really made a decent career out of it. And Austin Mack, who was a guy who, Montreal signed to a 4-year contract. We don't see that very often in the CFL. And the reason we don't see it very often is there's not much incentive for the player to sign that because teams can still walk away from them when they decide to. And we saw a good illustration of that. But again, I think he was a real impact player and a guy who I think has got a real commitment to the Canadian Football League and wants to be here. And it's certainly shown during his time in Montreal. He's got a lot of ability. I know, even talking to somebody with the New York Giants, where he was when he was in the NFL, he said, he was a guy who was right in the mix with them until he had some injuries. And that just so often happens when you're, right neck and neck with other players to make the team, and, they're available and you're not. That often is the determining factor.
Yeah. O'Donnell's the guy who, probably could still, he's got NFL talent. He was in the league, and I think he probably could easily be there. No question about it. So they'll be more aggressive there. It still comes down a little bit to me about quarterback play in Edmonton. No question. I think they've improved a lot. But it was Cody Fajardo, and the play calling. Are they going to be a little bit more aggressive this year, Dave? That to me is what I'm watching for.
Yeah, Cody Fajardo is a polarizing player. And in fact, people in the media, you're either a Cody Fajardo guy or you're not. And I don't mind saying I am a Cody Fajardo guy, I think the mistake they made last year, I think was not making the quarterback competition, the quarterback number one role, a competition in training camp. And I know they wanted to clear the way for Trey and give him some runway, and everybody wanted to see the Canadian kid from the U Sport background become a franchise quarterback. But boy, when that position's not competitive in camp, and again, it's not competitive in Hamilton. Bo Levi Mitchell is going to be the starting quarterback, but the resume would say he deserves that. But Trey Ford's resume didn't necessarily say that. In fact, if you put the resumes of the two quarterbacks next to each other, you would have said that Cody Fajardo said that more than Trey's. So, they make the adjustment on the fly after whatever it was, 6 games. And, I think the other thing that, and this was sort of an issue with Montreal, at least from their side of things. I can't speak for Cody Fajardo, but they always felt like he was not a guy who was going to play till his late 30s, that it was going to be a sort of year to year or a couple of years sort of thing for him, which was why when they made the transition to Davis Alexander, they just didn't feel they could hold on to Cody Fajardo, and let Alexander go when they may be looking for a quarterback in the near future. And I think in signing Taylor Powell, a guy who Hamilton really liked and I don't think wanted to lose, and would have ascended, I think, to the job in Hamilton had Bo, followed through on an inclination he had a year ago that this would probably be his last season, 2025 I'm talking about. Well, he decides to come back for 2 more. That sets Taylor Powell free, and now they're deeper at quarterback, which you always need 2 guys, and they also have a foot into the future, which is, I think it's important. It's an important thing for teams, because if you don't have that guy, what can happen? It can be a long, painful process transitioning from one starting quarterback to another.
Dave, you look at the league over. Have you got anything new on when's their plan to announce what they're going to do with the draft next year?
No, not. I believe they haven't finalized it, but I believe it is going to be before the NFL draft.
Yes.
Which, it's funny. I was talking to some people about this who go back in the league far enough to remember when it used to be before the NFL draft, and then the league kind of lobbied to try to get guys to get it moved so that you wouldn't have the uncertainty of what's going to happen in the NFL. Now, I would say, with maybe one exception, I don't know that any of the players, the Canadian players who are in this draft this year, wound up surprisingly somewhere that we didn't expect it. Like, Farhan Lalzi and I were talking about this the other day. And like, I would say this about NFL prospects for the most part. There's not a lot of, intel on who's going to sign them, but in terms of where guys are going to get drafted, who's going to be a UDFA, who's going to be a mini camp guy, those are relatively predictable, I would say. And Farhan pointed out Malik Mega, the receiver that is gone to Carolina, who had played at Penn State and one other school. Farhan pointed that one out as a surprise. But I think for the most part, there aren't that many surprises. And teams, I think, have a lot of intel among NFL teams. Do you think that guy's a UDFA guy? Do you think that guy's a draft pick? Do you think that guy's a minicamp guy? So I think teams are going to be able to be relatively accurate on projecting, what a player's NFL stock is when the CFL draft comes along. I think where it became really difficult, and they fixed this a few years ago, was when you had underclassmen in the CFL draft, guys that were going back for another year of NCAA and had a different NFL draft year. And you end up in a situation like a few years ago where, the BC Lions take Danny Watkins in the first round, I believe it was, in the CFL draft. And the next year, he's a first-round pick in the NFL draft. Well, they wouldn't have done that if they knew that was going to happen. So I think that was the bigger issue to me than just having the CFL draft before. The issue is going to be that for guys who get mini camp invites, which is, not often does that translate into an actual contract. I can only think of three guys that I think have got mini camp invites and it turned into contracts. Corey Greenwood, Sean Gore, and Taylor Elgersman. Off the top of my head, those are the only three I can think of that got mini camps that actually turned into a contract and you got to go to the full training camp. But guys aren't going to be in camp. They just do the calendar, right? If CFL draft picks are going to wait till the NFL draft to see if they get a mini camp invite to go, spend the weekend with the New York Jets or something, then that's going to keep them out of CFL camps. And as we know, CFL camps aren't very long. So there are certainly some issues there, no question.
Yeah. So, it's some issues, but I think it's probably something overall you can figure it out. Some teams might have to, see how risky they want to be at the draft on a player that they think might play in the NFL or not. That's probably what it's going to come down to, I think, for some of these teams, Dave. Now, I know it's super early, but, kind of going around camps and, you saw a few games, Saskatchewan, Calgary. Now, the Elks are going to do something that it used to happen all the time. You talked earlier about how the draft used to be before. Well, I know that in the 90s, you only ever had 7 or 8, 9 maybe O-linemen at training camp. So everybody played in the preseason, right? And you used to have more games. Now it's 2 preseason games, and teams are like, we barely play our starters. Edmonton's going to play everybody in both games. Now, they're not going to play them the whole game, of course. Yeah. But they are going to play everybody a little bit more. And I wonder if we ever get back to teams actually using the preseason to get their guys in a little bit better game, not game shape, but just game crispness. Because I do find at times some of those early games are rather sloppy.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see that because I think the specter of injury just looms too large. Like I think teams would say, I'd rather have a guy take 2 or 3 weeks to get up to speed than, risk losing him in a game that doesn't matter. And, you've seen different extremes of it. When Mark Trestman coached in Toronto, I couldn't speak for what he did when he was in Montreal because I don't remember, but in Toronto, he didn't play anybody. Like starters did not play, not one snap, So that was the other extreme. And if you look at, certainly what goes on in the NFL, their preseason games are largely about guys who are going to be on the practice roster. You'll see a starting quarterback play a quarter every now and then, but the risk reward of preseason games versus, a guy suffering a medium or long-term injury. I think the Elks are more the exception than the rule, and I don't see that trend changing. No, and again, I think in the CFL, where you've got 18 weeks, and now with the playoff format that's coming, not a lot of huge pressure to win those early games. That may even lean it sort of more in this direction.
Dave, as always, man, great to catch up with you. We look forward to having some more preseason stuff to talk about. We'll get some cuts and kind of see how things are here. We're only a few weeks away from the start of the season. Can't wait. Appreciate your time.
Excellent. I'll be jumping on the panel Saturday for Toronto Hamilton, so I'm excited to get going as well.
Awesome. I look forward to it. There you go. That's Dave Naylor from TSN. And oh, by the way, every preseason game is available streaming. If you diehards Want to watch the games for the green and gold this weekend? They do have a game on TSN TV, but they also have every game is streaming. And I've been told, as have many others, that they fixed their technical issues from the past that always had, you try to watch the game and it would just conk out. Couldn't handle it. So commissioner says they've improved in that area. I need to see it to believe it, but I'm hoping it's true. We'll see. When we come back at Kevin Woodley, we got Strutty, Tater, and much, much more. But first, let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Fountain Tire, they focus on one thing, your vehicle. From tires to wheels to automotive maintenance and repairs, they have you covered. Visit fountaintire.com and find a location near you.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game 1 of the Western Conference Final goes tonight from Denver, Colorado. Avs Golden Knights puck drop just after 6 o'clock. Cale Makar will not play for the Avs. The IIHF World Championship today. United States surviving a scare from Germany, winning 4-3 in a shootout. You also have the Czechs over Italy 3-1. Slovenia blanked by Sweden 6-0, and Switzerland crushing Austria 9-0. Canada back in action tomorrow, taking on Norway at 6:20 a.m. In the association, Thunder Spurs Game 2 from Oklahoma City gets going at 6:30. San Antonio leading that series 1-0. Major League Baseball tonight, Jays and Yankees from Yankee Stadium. First pitch 5:05. We'll join that game in progress immediately following the Jason Gregor Show on our AM radio feed. Elsewhere, Rockies beat the Rangers 4-3. Diamondbacks up on the Giants 6-3, and the White Sox Mariners tied at 1 apiece in the fourth. PWHL tonight, Montreal looks to play their first Walter Cup as they take on Ottawa, leading 2-1. Puck drop 5 o'clock in Ottawa. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Kevin Woodley of In Goal Magazine, and Cam Tate will take a look at his first potential coach candidate for the Edmonton Oilers. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The sun's out, the pavement's warm, and that low rumble of a Harley rolling by? Oh, yeah, that's calling your name. This is riding season, and if you've been thinking about a new ride, Harley-Davidson of Edmonton has the one that'll get your heart pumping. With a huge selection of new and pre-owned bikes, there's one waiting for you. Whether you're upgrading or just getting started, and while you're there, ask about test rides, because the only way to know is to ride it. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980, or at hdedmonton.com.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So sit on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love, better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? Allstar Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, Allstar Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, Allstar Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what Allstar Construction is all about.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable, promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Summer is calling. Is your vehicle ready for the road trip? Get ready for the season at Niscu Ford with offers that turn up the heat. Right now, you choose how you save. Finance your new vehicle with rates as low as 0%. Or choose massive cash rebates as high as $12,500. Whether you're hauling the boat or packing up the family, we have the Ford you need for your summer adventures. Start your summer upgrade at niscuford.ca. Niscu Ford, above expectations.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on until June 1st. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
It's after 3 o'clock. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks as always for listening and watching. Brought to you by playalberta.ca, where if you play the casino or gamble or do anything, make sure to use your game sense. Go to gamesenseab.ca and learn more how to stay within your limits. We got a lot of text to get to. We're going to get to some stats of the day. They're going to blow your mind coming up in a second. But, hey, Greg's just curious. What is the penalty if you were just to go out and talk to Cassidy without permission from Shanked One? Well, it'd be tampering. And it's a significant fine and can lead to losing draft picks as well. As I said, though, fairly difficult to enforce. Right? Like, how are they going to monitor everybody's phone calls? Right? Like, now I'm not saying you do it, but like, how hard would it be to stop them from finding a way to communicate to each other? Or like, what if you do a Zoom call from somebody that's like, it's a non-employee Zoom? Like, how are they going to track that? Right? Hey, you want to meet up here? I'll be in this city at this time. Okay. Like, I know there's ways to do it if people want to do it. It's like free agency. Do you think the agents have never talked to teams before it begins? Of course they have. You just have to prove it. So I'm sure if they really wanted to, they could. It would not surprise me if you found a way to do it. That's all. But if you got caught, there would be a significant penalty. Fine. Losing draft picks, etc. Hey, Greg, do you think the Oilers could hire him without an interview? Well, I guess you could. Would not be good business sense, I don't think. Why would you? Right? But Emmett, you can hire him because he's technically an employee of the Vegas Golden Knights right now. And if you're not granted permission to speak to him, that means you're not granted permission to offer him a contract. So, yeah, now I know people have brought up, well, maybe Bruce Cassidy can just quit. It all depends. And I talked to people in the league right now, not in the league, but guys who are, contract lawyers, and says it all depends on the wording of the contract. Would the contract state, okay, if the team, decides to relieve you of your duties, obviously you still get paid, which is in every contract. It's guaranteed money. There's no buyout for a coach. But you don't want to have that says if the coach just wants to quit, that he can quit. Because then you'd have coaches, the league doesn't want coaches to just quit, get off the hook, and basically be free agents. Right? They don't want that. So usually it kind of has to be mutual in the sense that the team fires you, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to ask for permission, away you go. So I don't think it's as easy as some people think. We'll just quit. No. Right? Like lots of jobs you don't have a signed contract at the job. Maybe if you're a contractor, yes. But if you're an employee, right? There's nothing that, like, you can give your few weeks notice. Some of you might have no compete clauses, right? Those happen. So that's what they would do. Like, hey, if you quit, great, but then you can't work in the league for a year. You could probably put that wording in there. Now, would a guy, you'd probably have to really dislike the situation you're in to want to just forfeit millions of dollars to wait a year to get another coaching gig. Right? And Gregor, Vegas needed permission from the Flyers to talk to Tortorella. These guys are so annoying, Steve. Hey. Just because Philly granted. And now they're going to say, yeah, but Philly gave us permission during the regular season. We're focused on the playoffs now. We can't waste one 30-second block to reply to people that, yes, you can talk to our coach. We can't do it, man. We're focused. We are laser focused. Yeah, but your head coach isn't with your team. It doesn't matter. We don't want distractions. And if our coach is interviewing with the enemies, that's a distraction. It's not a lie, Jerry, if you believe it. Just remember that. So, guys, Vegas, genius organization, fired Cassidy before the playoffs, hired a controversial coach because they knew they'd get the coaching bump. They won the division in their conference finals. Oilers are passive and maybe should take lessons from Vegas. Well, sure. If you think the new coach would have somehow magically had no injuries to McDavid, Dickinson, and Henrique. I don't say Draisaitl because he got hurt with 13 games left. So, right, injuries are a major reason why the Oilers aren't playing. Like, at least be honest about it. To pretend that that's not a major reason why they're out is a little misleading, I think. A little misleading. So. Hey, Gregor, I understand Cassie's agent is Pierre Lacroix, and he has other candidates. The Oilers could ask Lacroix any other options that aren't currently working but are being paid. Lots of ways to work around the formal request. Well, I'm not. There's no ways to work around the formal request. Now, you can talk to him, yes, and you get charged with tampering. That's not a debate. It's not a discussion. And just because you talk to him, you can't hire him. So they're kind of like, yeah, okay, we talked to him. Yeah, he wants a job. But until Vegas signs off on it, there's nothing you can do. You can't hire him. Point, yes, you can talk to him. You can be in love with him. Oh my God, he's going to be the greatest coach ever. But we can't hire him. You could do it. Like the Oilers, hey, they got time here. They don't have to hire a coach on June 20 or May 20th. Heck, they don't really have to hire a coach by June 20th. You would probably like one in an ideal world. You would like the coach available before the draft. Not because he's going to have any input on who you draft. He would have none, or he should have none, unless he was magically scouting junior hockey or NCAA this year. I would guess the coach would have none. Most coaches don't. They're like, dude, stay in my lane. That's not my lane. But why you'd want him before the draft is because there are a fair amount of trades at the draft. Some years more than others. And then leading up to free agency, some other trades, maybe free agents. You would like some input from the coach on what he feels. You don't want to sign a player, the coach is like, I've coached this guy before. He's dog babe. I don't want him. Right? Like, you don't want to be in that situation. You want to be on somewhat of a similar path as far as the players that you think can help your team. So that's why I think you'd want him at the draft. But the draft is on June 26th. So we do the math. They got 37 days. They got over 5 weeks before the draft. So there's still lots of time to right, to look at it. So Like I said, though, the terminating the contract, this is not remotely the same. And I think people are really uninformed if they think, well, Cassidy could just quit. No, he can't. He can't do it. Okay? You can't just walk out on the contract. It's not how the NHL, they don't want that. They don't want to set a precedence there. Now, I know they don't love this precedent by Vegas, but it's not illegal. That's why you have a legally binding contract. It is not illegal. Now, let's get to some stats of the day, because we got a few doozies for you now, brought to you by Allstar Construction, founded in 2009, specializing in underground utilities, power, gas, telecommunications, street lighting, and more. Also directional drilling, hydro vacuum. They do it all. allstarconstruction.ca. So here's a few to get to. So I'm going to kind of do it from last night and then heading into tonight. So I mentioned about the Knicks. In 13 minutes, they outscored the Cavaliers 44-11. There was 8 minutes left in the game. They outscored them by 22 in the final 8 minutes to tie the game, go to overtime. Then they outscored them 11-1 in overtime. And in that game, for the 48th time in his playoff career, James Harden had as many or more turnovers as made field goals. He's played now 188 playoff games. So that means a quarter of his playoff games, he's had more turnovers than field goals made. Capital U, capital G, capital L, capital Y. Ugly. Like, are you kidding me? And before last night's comeback, in the last 30 years, NBA teams were 594-1 when leading by 22 or more points in the fourth quarter. 594-1. And the Knicks said, not today. Not today. The only other win, maybe you remember it, the Clippers, down by 24 to beat the Grizzlies back in 2012. That was in game one also, but it was in the first round, not in the conference finals. So some wild stuff there. Now, to the Premier League. Congratulations. Arsenal clinched their first Premier title in 22 years. They used to kind of win it for fun in the late 90s, but they hadn't won since 2004. So you combine that, so they clinched that, right? And who is one of their biggest rivals? Tottenham. Well, they lost to Chelsea, and they're one step closer to what many people think of as like unthinkable. They could be relegated. Like, you're a fan of Arsenal, you haven't won in 22 years, and then one of your biggest rivals could get relegated. You're like, this is unreal. So that is some wild stuff there. Last night, I don't know if you saw it or not, but James Woods hit the first inside the park grand slam in 4 years. If you hit it right off the top of the fence. And then how about this? I love it that they timed it. He went around the bases in 15.15 seconds. Pretty fast. It is the only the fourth inside the park grand slam this century in 26 years. So pretty good, I would say. Pretty darn good. Now we get to some NHL stats. Montreal, they now hold the record for most wins in Game 7. With that Game 7 win over the Buffalo Sabres, they're now 17-9 in Game 7s. Now, the Edmonton Oilers, do you know what their record is in Game 7s all time? Connor Halley, any guess?
Oh, I don't even know.
8-5. Now, how many Game 7s, just off the top of your head, can you, Declan, get your mic? Can you guys name? Do you like, how many Game 7s do you remember for the Edmonton Oilers in their history? Cons, let's see which, the 13, let's see how many you remember.
Well, of course, the Marchand goal.
Yeah, that's 97.
Hate to bring it up, the 2 losses to the Stanley Cup winners.
Yeah, Carolina and Florida, that's 3.
Did they beat Colorado in 7 back in the 90s?
98, yes, that's 4.
Deck, you.
Did you Did you mention Vancouver?
No, it's 5.
Vancouver,
5, yeah. LA Kings in 2022.
Kings, yeah.
Right? Anaheim, they lost to in 2017.
Grabbing the pad, yep.
Yeah. Then you got to go back a little bit farther to the Esa Tikkanen hat trick, 1991. Remember, Messier's playing on one leg, could barely step off the bench. The Flames blew a 3-0 lead in that Game 7 on the road in Calgary. What about the infamous comeback down 3-1 to the Jets, 1990? They win games 5, 6, and 7. 1989, they lost to the Kings and Wayne Gretzky. 87 Stanley Cup con. They won a Stanley Cup final in Game 7. 86, the Steve Smith goal. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, 84, that was the first time they went to Game 7. They beat the Calgary Flames in round 2 and then went on to win their first Stanley Cup. There's only one team who has played a Game 7 because Columbus hasn't played one. Utah hasn't played one. There's only one active NHL franchise that has played a Game 7 and never lost. And they actually played a Game 7 last year, if you recall. The Winnipeg Jets. Look how...
Never, hey?
Yes. Look how close they were to losing. Remember that? Literally 1 second. So, yeah, the Jets are only 2-0 in Game 7s, but still, they're Game 7. What about Schwarber? The guy's killing it right now. He became only the 8th player in MLB history to hit 20 home runs before his team's first 45 games. The most guy prior to do it was Albert Pujols in 2006. Barry Bonds and Luis Gonzalez did it each in 2001. Mark McGuire did it twice in 98 and 2000. Roids. Ken Griffey Jr. did it twice, 94 and 97. Mickey Mantle way back in 56. And Cy Williams in 1923. Now, he's on pace for 70. We'll see if he does it. But Schwarber is off to an unreal start. I mentioned earlier about the SGA when he won his MVP. He was the 14th player to win back-to-back MVPs. But the ones who won the MVP back-to-back, how many of them won back-to-back championships? Well, you look at Bill Russell, 60. He actually did it 3 years in a row, 61 to 63. MJ, 91 and 92. LeBron, 2012, 2013. Now, Bird came close because he won 3 MVPs in a row in 84, 85, and 86. But he won 84, lost in 85, won the ring again in 86. So, but recent guys who have won it back-to-back years, Giannis, he won 2 MVPs, didn't win the title until the next year in 21. Same with Jokic. He won it in 21 and 22, didn't win until after. Magic in 89 and 90 also won back-to-back years MVPs, but didn't win a ring. And same with Kareem in 76 and in 77. So you look at SGA, he's in a pretty good category. And lastly, if you're looking for a little fun stat at playalberta.ca, tonight, Mr. Nathan McKinnon, he's looking to become the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he's coming to become the 11th player all time to have a 7-game goal scoring streak in the playoffs. And he could become the 4th Colorado Avalanche to do it. They know how to score 7 in a row. Joe Sakic did it in 96, Claude Lemieux in 97, and Valerie Nichushkin did it in 2024. Of course, Braden Point had a 9-game streak in 2021. That's the second longest behind. Do you know which player? The only player in NHL history to have a double-digit game goal-scoring streak in the playoffs. 10 games in a row with a goal. We'll leave it on that. We'll see if any of you know the answer. 10 game. Don't look it up. Anybody can Google. Anybody can ChatGPT it. Don't do it. It's just off the top of your head. Think about it and see if you can name the only player in NHL history in the playoffs to have a 10-game goal-scoring streak. 833-401-1440. That's our stats of the day brought to you by Allstar Construction. We'll return with Struddy on the Gregor Show presented by playalberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. GoAuto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for 2. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all 7s. GoAuto, get in the game.
Novo Blinds is your home ice advantage for window coverings. Edmonton's own custom manufacturer with over 300 5-star reviews from homeowners, builders, and commercial contractors. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Do you have neck or back pain? Ever go for treatment hoping for a simple fix only to realize your stubborn spine is basically a science project with attitude? Hey, we get it. And honestly, we're a little sorry because great rehab does take proper experimenting. But at Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we don't just toss exercises into the beaker and hope it doesn't explode. We start with the right diagnosis, then mix hands-on care, precise manual therapy, and evidence-based technology. The formula your body actually needs. Science and skill with gratitude, not attitude. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. If you're tired of slow, unreliable internet connections like I am, check out Starlink. It's fast, reliable, even in bad weather, and even works for 4K streaming for movie nights, online gaming, and more. Growing up on the farm in the sticks of Central Alberta, we tried everything to get reliable internet, but we're always left with buffering video and half-loaded websites. There's nothing worse than losing your connection while streaming the big game. I'm getting mine set up soon and can't wait. If you're ready for better internet, order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-800-GO-STARLINK.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Puck Drop Special at Papa John's. A large 2-topping pizza and 8-piece wings for only $28.99 with promo code PUCKDROP at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.331. Welcome back, Gregor, Hallie, Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Thank you for being part of the show, for listening, texting in. We always appreciate it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Dave did get the answer correct. Reggie Leach holds the NHL record for the longest consecutive game scoring streak at 10. He did it back in 1976. That was the same year. Well, that was the year he set the NHL record for most goals in a playoff season. He had 19 goals in only 16 games. He was on fire. Reggie Lee, that was the year he scored 61 goals in the regular season. Like, what a year it was for Reggie Lee. He had 61 goals. He did have 50 a few years later for the Flyers, and he had 45 the year before, but like, he was hot as a pistol that year, man. It was unreal. But you look at his playoff production, 47 goals in 94 games, basically a half a game goal scorer. In the regular season, 381 and 934. So he was a guy who easily elevated his game in the postseason. But 19 goals in 16 games in 1976. Of course, Jari Kurri tied that record. And the crazy part about Kurri tying that record was Jari Kurri, the year he scored 19, he had 18 going into the Stanley Cup Finals against the Flyers, and then only scored one goal in the final. A lot of people thought, he's going to break the record for sure. But it's hard to score goals, man. Hard to score goals, especially if you got good goaltending. And hey, speaking of goaltending, let's get to it. We go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. And you've been thinking about it. Commercial solar, commercial building owners, you install solar, you can qualify for a 30% federal tax credit, plus accelerated capital cost benefits and more. Lots of good savings in there right now. So if you're thinking about it, do it. Action Electrical can walk you through it. actionelectrical.net. As Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com joins us once again. Woodley, my man, how you doing?
I'm good, Jason. How are you? I'm sorry I wasn't able to join you yesterday as scheduled. Obviously, little breaking news here in Vancouver, and some big changes started and more coming, I think.
Yes. Do you now I know they got rid of all their assistant coaches. Did they get rid of their goalie coach?
They did not, and his contract is up at the end of the season. Unlike the rest of the staff who had 2 more years left on their deal, he is on an expiring contract. But Ryan Johnson indicated that they were working towards or hope to have him back. My understanding is that the indication is that, at least for a year, which is interesting because they haven't hired a head coach yet. And so, to me, that tells me there's going to be some separation between those two positions. We've seen on some teams that position is chosen by the head coach. Like, you might want to bring in his own guy. We've talked about departments in the past. We've talked about directors. We've talked about some of those different things. And I prefer there to be some separation between obviously the goalie coach has to get along with the staff and work with the staff. But sometimes guys just want to bring in buddies, people they're comfortable with. And in a position where we often hear head coaches talk about, that matters, I understand, but we often hear head coaches talk about, goaltending is the one thing I don't understand. We heard Marty St. Louis say it the other day in regards to calling up to Marco Marciano about, whether to pull Jakub Dobiš in, I think it was Game 5. So I prefer a little separation there. And actually, Montreal's a great example. I think one of the reasons they kept their goalie coach for so long was the relationship he built with Marty St. Louis. When ultimately they did make this change this year, their goaltending's taken off under Marco Marciano, who I think I mentioned this to you before. They were lucky to still have in the organization. He actually turned down the Detroit job And so you should add all these things up, and how you treat the position and how you pay the position. Like, there are teams that do it right and teams that don't. And the teams that do it right tend to have better options kicking around. The curious thing to me, if Marco Terranis is back in here in Vancouver for next year, is what is the future of Ian Clark, who was the previous goalie coach, walked away from that because he said his body couldn't handle the day-to-day rigors of it anymore, was removed as the director, had that title stripped, but a year added to his contract, and has largely been working in development and scouting since. Do they consider him in a director role to extend and be a part of this, or do they move on from him, or do they give it 1 year? I'm really curious to see. There's a working relationship there with Ryan Johnson. He spoke glowingly about Ian Clark yesterday, as well as with the Sedin twins, but a lot up in the air. At the end of the day, I'm just glad that it seems like the organization is going to treat goaltending somewhat independent as much as you can from your coaching staff and the decisions they make.
What'd you make of the Devils coaching goalie coach getting let go yesterday?
We could kill the whole segment here. Was a little surprised, was surprised by the move, but shocked by the reaction in New Jersey. If you go and check the tweet, I guess the post that the Devils put out on X and hit the reply, like look at the replies to it.
Yeah.
Oh my, like you and I have been through this. We saw how the fans had a visceral reaction to Dustin Schwartz after all those years in Edmonton. I think this might be worse. Like unhinged commentary for Dave Rogalski, who I know is an excellent coach. And I was just going through the numbers. We ran our year-end sort of Vezina Trophy, who deserves what, and he didn't play enough to be in consideration. But in the top 5 of every category was Jake Allen for the New Jersey Devils, despite having an expected save percentage of .880, well below league average. Now, I know a lot of the commentary is around Jacob Markstrom, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Edmonton. Do you think the goalie coach made the decision to trade for and extend him? Do you think the goalie coach made the personnel decisions, or did he just coach what he was given? And even in Markstrom's game, I can find things when I break it down, like a lot of his numbers were created by some sort of late in the game where they'd be up big and they just fire wagon it and give up a couple goals late. Like we saw it in Edmonton, right? Like I think Peter Aubry's an excellent coach as well. I think Dustin Schwartz was an excellent coach. It's about more than just the goaltending coach. And the way that went down in New Jersey and just the reaction to it, I was scared to go on Twitter and reply myself. But it's like Devils fans, who hurt you? Like, what's going on here? I haven't seen a reaction like that. I was shocked by it. I was surprised by the announcement, and we'll see what's next. I guess it shouldn't have been, because there's a new regime in place. Interestingly enough, we just mentioned Ian Clark. Because Vancouver, at least for now, had taken away that director title, it means that other teams could poach him by offering a director title. And certainly the ties between Jacob Markstrom and Ian Clark are well established. But I think what a lot of people might not realize is how close Sonny Mehta was to Roberto Luongo during his time in Florida. And I'm pretty sure if you were to ask Roberto, how do I fix my goaltending? One of the first names out of Roberto's mouth would be Ian Clark. So, we'll see where this goes. Vancouver paid him very well. Other teams pay lip service rather than actual real money to the idea of a director. I don't know where the Devils fall in that, but I'm very curious to see what happens, because I was surprised. Like I know how good a coach Rogalski is. I know who he works with privately. I see the results they have. The way he's regarded in Minnesota. There's a whole generation of goaltenders that came up through Minnesota and have had success as a result of working with him. A little caught off guard by the move, really caught off guard by the reaction.
Yeah. Okay. So they'll go out there and they'll look. And do you expect any other coaching vacancies to open up?
I mean, I guess the fact that one surprised me. I know there's some for sure in the American Hockey League. You could see a little bit of a carousel, one move begetting another move. At the NHL level, here's the thing. Like even in Vancouver, as much as I talk about, there's a chance that the Devils, it's easy to draw those lines between them and Ian Clark. It's probably easy to draw lines between the New York Rangers. Benoit Allaire just retired, right?
Mm-hmm.
From a director of goaltending job that he didn't really want to do, but they talked him into doing it after moving on. Like, I think he really wanted to retire 2 years ago. They got 2 more years in that role. He moves on. You know, I think there are people in Igor Shesterkin's camp that would welcome Ian Clark, not as a goalie coach, but if he comes in that director title. So there's another option. And all of these moves would have spin-off moves. But from a goalie coach perspective, this one caught me off guard. And there's one I've got an eye on, but I'm not sure yet whether it's going to happen. And if it does, then again, we could see a little bit of a carousel because there's relationships, you know, much like I mentioned with Clark, and sometimes it is coaches, as I talked about earlier, where that coach has a relationship with the goalie coach he's built trust in, and you might see some movement based on that. The big thing to me is, you know, do we see teams invest a little more? Again, the Montreal example of them having an option in the American Hockey League because he said no to Detroit because Detroit wasn't investing, you know, frankly, as much money in their NHL goalie coach as some teams do in their American Hockey League goalie coach. And that's where this gets a little interesting.
Yeah. Kevin Woodley from Ingo Magazine, NHL.com joins. So, Kev, everybody sees Dobush and they're like, okay, who's the young goalie that we can have that's going to come in and blow the doors off of it for a team? And it's hard to predict, right? It's difficult to predict. Are there any young goalies you like? DiPietro still in Providence? Is that a guy you look at? Where do you come out on maybe some younger not that DiPietro's young, he's 27, but are there other goalies you think that given an opportunity could be very good next year?
Well, I mean, it depends what we're talking about. Like, do I think that Devin Cooley has shown enough upside in Calgary? I mean, they re-signed him, but, you know, they've got 2 really good goalies. And if you're a team that's like, hey, I think there's more here, we can make him a number 1, what would it cost to get him out of here? Like, I think the potential for him to have a Jakub Dobush-like impact on a team, he's got the size, he's got the same explosive mobility. I think he actually has a slightly more contained, controlled game than Dobush has, although that's been a big part of Dobush's success, reining in some of those positional tendencies that hurt him earlier in his career. Like, it's hard. Do I think Michael DiPietro is ready for the National Hockey League? Absolutely. And that's based on talking to people that know him well, that are around him, teammates. Yeah. But it's hard to sort of project like that Dobush level impact, Jason, because this impact has been like, he's been so good. And yeah, there's been ups and downs, and there's going to be under the pressure of this. But when you look at the package, it's not just the size, it's the length. You know, his ability to get and compete and get to second chance and backdoor opportunities that other guys, like, even if they're as tall, they aren't able to extend the way he is and sort of build out, use that height as length. The compete level in his game, the mental side of it, we've talked about, works with Pete Fry, the goalie mindset guy. I know that's gotten a lot of attention. He's somebody we worked with here in Vancouver. He comes across as a goofy goalie. We see the quotes about, you know, going home and watching Game of Thrones and being a goofy goalie. But I do think there's a real maturity to his game that's developed over time. I think they've done a really nice job bringing him along. And as much as I talked about Marco Marciano taking over as the goalie coach, I think you also have to give Eric Raymond, the goalie coach there before, credit for starting to rein in some of those elements. He's a Benoit Lair disciple. Positionally, he would have tried to pull some of those aggressive tendencies in. But are there big goalies with upside? Yeah, look at Nikita Tolopilo in Vancouver. Just as poorly as it finished behind a terrible defensive team, there was some success early. There are some size elements that are similar. Does he have the same explosive ability as Dobush? I'm not sure. Does he have the same mental? Like, can he handle the spotlight the way Dobush is? Like, it's just what Dobush is doing is so special that I don't know that it's fair to compare this next generation. Like, I think there's a lot of guys out there that might be the next Brandon Bussey, and he had an incredible regular season. But to do what Dobush is doing in the postseason right now, it's such a big ask that it's almost an unfair bar to set. And there's so, like, that skill and size, man, there's just not a lot out there like that. Like, there are a lot of big goalies, but his power, his explosiveness, his length, his reach, and the way he manages it, like, it's fun. Like, as a goalie geek, somebody on another show asked me, like, you know, like, tried to compare him. It said there's a little Tim Thomas in there. Absolutely. Not aggressive. I think that's been overplayed. Like, if you watch where he starts, it's conservative, it's contained, and then he'll come out when he needs to challenge. But just that battle element of his game, there's so much compete. Obviously I'm fanboying a little bit on him, but I think we forget, like this is pretty remarkable stuff. Like, when I look at the underlying numbers, Jason, around the league defensively, like, you know, we talk about some of those metrics I look at. High danger expected goals against, even strength 5-on-5. Like Colorado's second, Vegas is fourth in the playoffs, Carolina is fifth. Like they're all up there where they're supposed to be and doing this. Montreal's 14th out of the 16 teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like a lot of what we're seeing right now is, they can score, but a lot of what we're seeing is go Jakub Dobeš. He is carrying them through an underlying defensive profile that I think I said going into the playoffs, I didn't expect to have success because it leans so heavily on goaltending. But he is delivering in key moments, big saves, big moments. And he's not giving up, maybe a couple, but he's not giving up back-breaking bad goals either throughout this.
Yeah, Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com joins us. So you look at the offseason, and you mentioned in Edmonton, right? So they got rid of Chris Knobloch, new coach who's going to come in. Peter Aubrey's only been here 1 year. Now, who knows if Ingram's going to be back, and if Jari's only back, then it's not like there's been a long-standing rapport built up yet. But what do you make of the Oilers? And does their new head coach? Should the head coach have say in the goalie coach? Was that more the GM? Where do you come out on it?
I honestly, it kind of come back to what I said with Vancouver. I understand why some head coaches might want to have their guy, but I think it should be independent. I do. I really do, because I think you all need to be on the same page. Need to have conversations about system and what's the goalie's responsibility. Hey, what are the strengths of my goaltending? How are they going to fit within your system? Right down to what's my goalie responsible for cutting off in terms of passes through the blue ice, and what's the defense. There are, we talk about horses for courses. There are systems and the way goalies fit into it, and you need to have that conversation. But and this is where, I don't think you have to have a department. Obviously, I'm an advocate for it. I think having more voices sort of that understand the position and can sort of, for lack of a better term, speak truth to power about where your team is at within that position before they make big decisions. I think more voices but it doesn't matter. You can have more voices, and if management's not going to listen, if they're just going to do their own thing or side with analytics. I know a goalie director in another organization that left the organization because the people in power just kept ignoring what he said and going purely with analytics. And then when it didn't work out, it's well, what's wrong with the goaltending? And he actually left a director's position with an NHL club because of that trend. So you can have a whole bunch of people that are really smart with goaltending, but if you don't listen to them, it's not going to help. I do think that having it somewhat independent of the coach, I would have it independent of the coaching staff. I think that's better when you have a department and they're all working together. It would be nice if the goalie coaches weren't on an island, and that can sometimes happen in the NHL. But I think you can get into trouble, and we've seen it. I'm trying to think of some examples. There was one point, Joel Quenneville in Chicago, where they made a change in the goalie coach, and he brought in his guy, a guy he'd worked with for a long time. I think it was after Stefan Waite left, and it didn't work out at all. And there are a few examples around where it's you bring in a guy, honestly, Rod Brindamore brought in a guy, I'm pausing on his name. Not that he was bad, but he ended up being their American Hockey League goalie coach, and they swapped with Paul Schoenfelder in the National Hockey League. But to me, you hear it so often where the head coaches say, I don't know the position. And so what they might lean towards is a relationship with someone who does the position as opposed to real knowledge of the position. I'm not saying that's always the case, but I think that happens enough that I would probably try to avoid it. And again, having more people that understand the position around it and can sort of, coach up a little bit or work up towards management and make sure that everybody's on the same page, that things that are being seen on the ice are relayed in a way that hey, this guy might be a fit. This guy might not be. Here's what we see. Here's how it fits with the numbers. More voices is better, but you have to be willing to listen to them. And I still think that, having some independence in that department has a lot of value. At the end of the day, if other people are picking your goalies and then wondering why you can't coach more out of them, I just think it's not a great recipe.
Yeah. Okay. I was just kind of curious on what you think is going to be the best course of action that way. Kev, as always, buddy, we appreciate it. Have yourself a great week, and we'll chat with you next Monday. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. There you go. That's Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com. Quick break. We'll return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We got a lot of text line in 833-401-1440. 1440. And like, people are actually mentioning Mike Babcock. What the hell are we doing? We'll discuss that.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit JapaEquipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in-store. Overstock, scratch, and dent, and unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
From the first face-off.
I don't
Sports 1440.
know how long this search will last. I don't know the minds of the
analysis and pre- and post-game shows. We bring you
Win me.
closer to the game. Tune in 24/7 only on Sports 1440, Edmonton Sports Station.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting on
One
the
spot,
scene. These are
one
your
city.
responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit Action Electrical.
The player coach was reborn.
May brings more of what
Bobby
you're looking
Hull.
for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Our new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more. Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become
Stories written.
debt-free with
Oh,
a
yeah.
solution just for
Sports
you.
1440.
Let's put an end to those calls.
Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
That is a great old school tunes, Cons. I love it. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Like honestly, I saw the article at Oilersnation today. They're talking about people. Oh, yeah, Mike Babcock. Are we? What? What the hell? Why is that name even an option? So he hasn't coached in the league since 2020. Okay. And yeah, he apologized because he got caught. He didn't apologize beforehand. Apologized because he got caught. Hey, Mitch Marner, which one of your teammates works the hardest? Rank him. And then you go and tell the teammates, like, what type of lunatic you need to be to do that? And then just be like, oh, I made a mistake. No, you didn't. That is a well thought out, diabolical plan. Call a spade here, people. Oh, no, by the way, Mike Babcock hasn't won a playoff round since 2013. But, he won a Stanley Cup one year with the Detroit Red Wings. So you know what? He should be in the conversation forever. Give me a break. He had his chance, right? He had his chance. He was in the NHL for a long time. It was actually 2008, my fault. He lost in 2009. And hasn't won a playoff round since 2013. And you're telling me that he is a realistic option? Give me a break. I think sometimes people just like to throw names out there for fun. Like, I'm sorry. Right? There's zero reason to even give oxygen to that. Sorry. Zero reason. Oh, well, Mike Babcock's won. Like winning a Stanley Cup is just, well, that means forever you should just get a carte blanche. No. At some point, guess what? You can live your life. You can do lots of stuff. You can't be an NHL coach again. There's lots of other things to do in the world. It should end there. And I'm sorry. It's disappointing to me. You shouldn't even bring up his name because he hasn't earned the right. Track record. What he's done as a coach. Sorry. You haven't won a playoff round and it's coming on, 13 years? I've been in the league since 2020. And early last full season was 2019 because he got fired 20 games into the 2019-20 season. Like, just move on. Move on. You don't always have to recycle, and especially certain, I'm sorry, don't buy it at all. So, I know at some point, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm delusional. I think there's somewhat of a responsibility to look and say, okay, let's just get people fired up. No. There's zero, the Edmonton Oilers to even consider, and I'll just say that, I don't think they're going to. But even if they did, it would be embarrassing.
Drager also reached out to Babcock, who said, I'm retired, I'm loving it. So,
yeah. But even what do you think he's going to say? Babcock's ego wouldn't let him say, I'd like to get back in, right? It wouldn't. Look at Bruce Cassidy. He's telling everyone, hey, man, I'd love to coach again. I want to coach again. Now, he just got let go a few months ago. I get why he wants to. But the Babcock one, God. And honestly, his name's only out there because it's a Canadian market. And people are like, oh, yeah, hey, let's just, any little name that's going to get us a lot of, guess what? Mention Babcock and everyone will talk about it. And sadly, many of you did. I hope most of you said that's a terrible idea. Full stop. And end it right there because that's all that is. So that is It makes absolutely zero sense to me. None. Sorry. Like, you know my stance, first of all, like, hey, because you've won that, that's great. You've won. Except nobody since Scotty Bowman, since 1955, the only guy to ever win in multiple teams is Scotty Bowman. That's it. And those teams are pretty loaded. Detroit, how many Hall of Famers they have in that team? Pittsburgh Penguins, who'd they have? Lemieux, Jagger, Francis, Coffey, Barrasso. Who else is on? Mark Recchi. Brian Trottier. Larry Murphy. Got a lot of Hall of Famers. Pretty good chance. Is there any team in the NHL right now who has 7 Hall of Famers on their team or 7 future Hall of Famers on the team? Anyone? Like Tampa Bay's got Vasilevsky, Kucherov, Hedman. Those 3 are locks. I think Braden Point is probably on target to be one. That's it. Colorado's got Makar and McKinnon. I don't know if they have anybody else. Dave and Draisaitl, Edmonton. Does Vegas currently have anybody who's going to be a Hall of Famer? Like, I don't think Mark Stone's Hall of Famer. Shea Theodore? Mitch Marner? Maybe. Right? Like, there's no team that have that. So, pretty stacked team. So, I know it's great that people, got to have a Stanley Cup winner. Sure. Except history tells you that it doesn't give you a better chance to win. History tells us that. So, especially a guy who hasn't won a playoff round since 13 and basically got booted out of the league and did some very less than desirable things to his players. So, not the guy for me. Quick break. When we come back, Struddy will join us. We're going to talk a little, getting psyched up here at all for the World Cup. Some big shit. Like, this is a big deal. I'm kind of curious. Where do you come out on it? Is it not going to be exciting until it gets here? Which I understand. But we have a friendly in Edmonton coming up in 12 days. Is that like the calendar turns to June, then you get excited? Not totally fair. Not saying it's wrong. You don't need to be super hyped, a month out. I'm just kind of curious what the average sports fan's thoughts are of the World Cup. You're like, you know what, man? I'm not really too concerned until it starts. Once it starts, I'm in. That'd be a totally valid one because I'm probably close to that as well. I'm a little, I wouldn't say that, probably June for me. Get some friendlies. Team Canada's going to be here. You're going to get to see them up close. That should be good. Quick break. We'll return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca as we get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. If you are looking for professional property services you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Stable jobs, create stable lives. HireGood.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game 1 of the Western Conference Final goes tonight from Denver as the Golden Knights up against the Avalanche. Puck drop just after 6. No Cale Makar on this one for the Avalanche. At the IIHF World Championship today, there's the United States getting past Germany in a shootout 4-3. Sweden blanks Slovenia 6-0. Czechs over Italy 3-1. And Switzerland beating up on Austria 9-0. Canada in action tomorrow morning just after 6 a.m. up against Norway. In the association, Spurs Thunder Game 2 from OKC. Spurs leading that series 1-0. Tip-off at 6:30. Major League Baseball. Blue Jays in New York once again to take on the Yankees at 5 o'clock. We'll have that one for you in progress on our AM feed immediately following the Jason Gregor Show. 2 games currently underway. Rangers and Rockies. Texas on top 5-4 in the 9th. And in the 7th, the Mariners and White Sox tied at 2 apiece. Finals from earlier today have the Reds knocking off the Phillies 9-4. Orioles fall to the Rays 5-3. Twins drop the Astros 4-1, and the Diamondbacks doubling up the Giants 6-3. PWHL tonight it is Game 4 as Montreal tries to wrap it all up and win their first Walter Cup, leading 2-1. Puck drop 5 o'clock in Ottawa. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions and be joined by former NHLer Jason Strudwick. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Niscu, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine. But we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
This is you.
Hi.
And your cornhole team needs money.
Yeah, we do need money.
Plus, you've tried every fundraiser under the sun.
No kidding, and no one's buying my Cuban salted chocolate.
Scrap the chocolate and fundraise for your team, club, or charity at On the Rocks. Here's the deal. We'll create custom tickets for your event, which includes no cover, no line, and beverage before 10 p.m. Then you sell your tickets and keep all the profits.
That sounds easy.
It is. Fundraisers at On the Rocks. Book, party, cash. OnTheRocksYEG.com.
Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports is Sports 1440.
From Low Tide to Kevin Carriott and Jason Gregor, we deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
Tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week
to Sports 1440.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Cantork has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
A relaxing day at the lake without a Toyota Tundra can be noisy. But when you get a Tundra at your local Toyota dealer, you can take advantage of up to 11,000 pounds of towing capacity to find a quieter spot. Take advantage of Red Tag Day on now. Lease a 2026 Tundra 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $145 weekly for 60 months at 4.79% APR with $8,699 down. Hybrid available. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Millions and millions of Canadians do not have a doctor. We have a crisis. Canada's Medical Clinic is opening clinics across Canada to allow everyone to have a doctor to call their own. Early detection saves lives. We've got some great news. You can call now and book an appointment with your new doctor. Canada'sMedicalClinic.com. And more good news. Canada's Medical Clinic Windermere is also now a walk-in clinic. We'll see you there.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendinitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Or 10, welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Alley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Got a lot of texts coming in, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, because you don't like him doesn't make him a bad coach. He's a good coach. You're always going to have mixed opinions from players. Soft whiners like Commodore and Marner won't like him. He's the exact opposite of what the Oilers have. Rattle some cages around the country club. Well, what makes him a good coach? Losing? Honestly, what makes him a good coach? Because you claim he rattles cages? What determines a good coach? Wins or losses? Because he won with a team full of Hall of Famers, does that make him a great coach? He hasn't won a playoff round since 2013. You claim that, he rattled some cages. What cages did he rattle in Toronto? Honestly, what cages did he rattle? Did it work? They didn't win a playoff series. So what was good about it? Honestly. Fair question. Tell me, what makes him a great coach if you have a team that's a 100-point team every year, but you can't win the playoffs? Coach has no say in that? You just fired a guy who went to 2 Stanley Cup finals and you claim he wasn't good. Well, but this guy went to a cup many moons ago, so he's great. Even though since then, not a lot. Right? So, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Hey, Greg, do you think Brandon Hagel's the Hall of Famer? Ooh. I don't. I can't think so, no. I like Hagel a lot as a player, but, he's got 161 career goals. Like, he's had 1 year with 90 points. He's a good player. I like Hagel, but Hall of Famer, he's going to have an incredible second half of his career. Well, it's not even half, right? He's 27. So, yeah, he'll have to have another 5 or 6 really good years. Like his last 4 years, pretty solid. But I'm not even sure then if that makes you a Hall of Famer. Like, it's Hall of Famer. It's not Hall of Fame very good. Right? It should be the Hall of Fame great. And I like Brandon Hagel, man. I'd put him on my team any day. But that, I don't think Zach Hyman's a Hall of Famer. Right? So, no, I wouldn't think that he's projected and whatnot. Maybe he's going to be a huge late developer. You never know. Jack Eichel, yeah, he'll have a chance for sure. Yeah, he's one that always helps for people, no question. And he's top American, make no mistake. That's going to factor in whether people want to like it or not. So I think he'll go in. That's a good point from Joe, BP on that one. Hey, guys, don't forget, Babcock got hired again, and what happened? He didn't even make it to the start of the season. True. Very true, Andy, in Columbus. That, oh, yeah, you remember that one? Like, imagine getting hired in the offseason, and then you do things that get you fired before the season even starts. Like, he didn't change. Didn't change. But if your prerequisite is, I got to list every coach who's ever won a Stanley Cup who's available, then I guess so. Sure. But I don't see any reason why it would be. And I honestly, I don't think it's going to be a consideration. Hey, Greg, I'm watching online. That's a great jacket. Where'd you get it? From Ranger Nick. Hey, Nick, I like that you got a good eye for fashion, buddy. I got that at Mr. Dirk. Sick place, buddy. You go in there with Sterling or Dan, whoo, buddy. They will look at you looking good. This is like my, probably become like a, I don't even know if I guess it's kind of like a, I don't even know what the proper term is for this. Is it a dress jacket? I'm not sure. But it's light, it's perfect for like early spring into the fall. Love it. Very comfortable. Big fan. Big fan. Good eye, Nick. Good eye. I like it. I got it. Maybe Hagel will play like Marty St. Louis the rest of his career. Fair point. There's always late developers. He could do it. But he'd have to, like Marty St. Louis also won an MVP, right? He won a scoring title. So there are, I'm a big believer in that. It's not for all nice guys. Of course you want good people, but like you got to be great, right? Like Marty St. Louis was a top 5 scorer. I think for a 5-year period, or maybe it was even longer, from 2004 to 2011. I'll go look it up. I think Marty St. Louis was like a top 5 scorer combined in the NHL for that period of time, if my memory's correct. But I'm going to double check right now just to make sure. And like that's it's a pretty decent period of time. Third, yeah, he was third. Joe Thornton had the most points, 653. Ovechkin 614, played fewer games, and then Marty St. Louis 613. If we went over points per game, Ovi, Crosby was first, Ovi was second, Forsberg, Malkin, Marty St. Louis still top 10, right? So if you look at it now, and even if we just go just his last 4 years for Brendan Hagel, right? Where would he rank in points, do you think? Just over the last 4 seasons, where he's been a good player. But he's not even in the top 30. So I can't have him as sorry. That's let me double check. Here we go. For 4 years, Brendan Hagel was going down the list. He is ranked 32nd. Alongside of tied with Zibanejad, Reinhart, and Tage Thompson. Are any of those guys Hall of Famers? So let's just say he maintains that for another 5 years. It's not good enough. He's going to have to be better than he was. And that's hard to do. Like, it's hard to be a Hall of Famer. This guy scored 30, 26, 25, 36 goals. Good. 64, 75, 90, 74 points. Solid, for sure. But I just, like, those are his 4 best years. And his 4 best years put him 32nd in the NHL over a 4-year span. And that's only 4 years. If you go longer, obviously, he hadn't really blossomed yet. So over a 7-year span, he's going to have to go on fire to get up into it. Like he's 200. Now, McDavid's maybe unfair, but he's 200 points behind Kucherov. He's 200 points behind McDavid. Like I don't know. Just I don't see it being a realistic choice for him. Like, would I look at other young players, like in that time, Jake Gensel, see a Hall of Famer? No. I like Jake Gensel. Good player. Not a Hall of Famer. So don't see it. Hey, Gregor, do you think Matthews is a Hall of Famer? Yeah, probably. Right? You score 60 goals twice. Right? You win a Hart. He's got 428 goals in 689 games. He's going to finish with 500 goals in his career for sure. Maybe 600. Yeah. He's a Hall of Famer. When we come back, guy who's in the Hall of Fame in BC, Jason Strudwick, joins us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th. Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's gonna love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks Famous Tent Sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. And unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set. All of this for less than $1,500. Only at the Bricks Tent Sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? Allstar Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, Allstar Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, Allstar Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what Allstar Construction is all about.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. It's Wing Wednesday at OTR with drink specials all day, karaoke at 9, and of course, 69-cent wings from 5 to close. Head on over to Jasper Ave and 118th or online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$4:27. How you doing on a Wednesday afternoon, May 20th? Of course, conference finals kick off tonight in the NHL. No Cale Makar for the Colorado Avalanche as they host the Las Vegas Golden Knights, who are so focused on the playoffs that they don't have time to grant their former head coach opportunities to talk to interview for jobs. So maybe when the playoffs are over, but maybe then they're going to have to do like, hey, wait a sec, season's over. Now we got to do an evaluation of our campaign. We'll see what's going on. Might not be the right time. So they might just play some games with other teams, which will probably annoy them. But sadly, it's within their legal right to do. And I'm not really sure what the NHL can do at the end of the day. You can dislike it. Legal. I guess coaches can say, hey, my next contract, I want the wording that will say, if I'm relieved of my duties, I will also be granted permission to interview for other jobs. But until that's in there, not much you can do. He's getting paid. Well, not right now. You get paid in the offseason, when the new season begins, but he will be due his money. So there you go. Let's get to Struds On, brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings right now for one of the most versatile electrical contractors in Alberta, actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea, and it is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you had me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. You need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
Struddy, good afternoon. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you making out?
Oh, living the dream, Struddy. Living the dream. Life's good. All right. Got all my yard work done early this year, everything's good. So way you go. So it's fun. I don't have it. When we built our house, I'm not a big yard work guy. I haven't grown up on the farm for years. It was one thing I was just kind of like, I'm kind of done with it. So, got the turf in the front. You got to sweep it once. There's not much else to do. So, got a few flower beds to clean. It's pretty minor. So I walk by some people's yards and I'm like, God, that looks good, but that's a lot of work. So not my thing. Not my thing. So how about you?
Yeah, I'm on the same path. I'm chipping away at the yard work. I think it's getting close, but we need a little bit of rain, right? Not to sound like a farmer, but we need a little rain to green things up, a little heat, the old combo.
Oh, buddy, it's important. A little rain, a little heat. It's always good. Where do you come out on the order? How long? I don't think they're in any rush, but how long would you wait to make your coaching decision if it involves the potential of interviewing Bruce Cassidy?
Well, if this is your number one guy, or if this is who you believe to be your number one guy, then you do have to be patient, I think, and then make sure that you let that process run out. The problem is, will other, teams like Vancouver or LA or Toronto, will they move on? Although I think we know who Vancouver is going to take, but will the other two teams, will they take somebody else that you may be your second choice? And now maybe you're down to your third or fourth choice. So, you do have to keep monitoring, but if this is your guy and you feel that, this is what you want, then you got to make sure it fits. the other issue is the assistant coaches, right? And I recognize that the head coach is, job number one, but you also want assistant coaches that'll mesh together and that Bruce can find guys that work with him and that work with what he needs. So that's also something to keep in mind as you tick towards the NHL calendar year ending up in the end of June.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I see it. So they can take their time. They'll interview their coaches and, where they go. What about coach is one element. It's not like, they get a new coach and all the problems are solved with this team. I don't believe that for a second. Connor Murphy. To me, he's priority number one for the Oilers, and players, potential free agents, they got to get him signed sooner the better.
Yeah, and I agree. I think he was a good fit, good partner for Darnell, obviously. So you got to sort that out. What does that look like? What does he want? And maybe those are conversations happening right now. I don't know. We know Lindy Ruff today signed. I know he's not a player, but business is getting done at this time. So I would like to see him brought in. So you kind of have this is what that is. And now we know we have X amount to spend, because you got Janmark coming back in the fold next year, although he's not a massive hit. He does, seem to help the penalty kill. You got to figure out, a backup goalie. If Jari's your guy here, there's a few other areas you got to shore up. So it's, it'd be nice to know what Murphy's number is. And that's just a starting point for your off season.
Yeah, no, that's true. Obviously you can do multiple things at once. I think if you're the GM, you can be talking to coaches, you're talking to the agents, and you should have a feel kind of a Murphy. And I don't really know, when I look at Connor Murphy's start, I don't need a new coach to tell me, this is a player I should sign. I look at the free agent market. I look at my team. I look at the need to have a right defenseman. It's a no-brainer. This is a guy I can sign regardless of who my head coach is going to be.
Well, the nice thing is, and then you have your top six, right? Well, actually, your top seven, I'm guessing, because it'd be Emerson and Stastny at 7, somewhere in there. You know what it's going to be. So you're like, okay, we're set on the back end. Now we can focus on, the goaltending situation, and then whatever we want to do up front. Do we want to, throw Nuge at center and then, try to add something a little bit bigger up top? Or do we want to keep Nuge up there and find a third line center? Does that include Dickinson? What about the guys we have already? All those types of things. So that all has to be figured out for this group. But I would focus extremely hard on my making sure my D are organized, and then the goaltending situation as well.
What are you doing for goaltending? Honestly, Struds, what would you do?
I mean, the Tristan Jarry contract is a challenge for the team, the way that he played after the injury. He looked like he lost some confidence and he wasn't feeling good about himself. Now, we've seen goalies go from ones to tens, in off seasons for sure, and the way that they played and what they do it. So, the organization has to figure, okay, what do we need here? Is this our guy? And if it's not our guy, can we get another guy to play beside him so we have a 1A, 1B? So does Ingram want to come back? And do you want to have those two guys? Is that what you want? I mean, there aren't going to be a lot of goalie situations out there with teams with 3 goalies. I think of Freddie Anderson in Carolina with, he'll be a free agent. The Oilers don't have a ton of assets to go out and trade for goalies. I've heard some talk about Buffalo. Montreal was still in there. Has Sam Montembeault, who is on Team Canada now, not even dressing for the playoffs. Is that a guy that you can tick up? And I think he's 3.1 grades or something off the top of my head. So, there are going to be opportunities out there, but A, do you want to spend to get those? Or B, do you want to try to go into free agency and not have to trade assets so you can use those assets for other things to bring guys in? So it's quite complicated, but I'll say that there's going to be a lot of options back there. And I feel like the Oilers goaltending core is going to be much more expensive than it has been in recent years with Skinner and whoever was his partner.
Yeah. I'll be curious to decide what they do and look and say, okay, so Connor Ingram, exactly what you're getting, right? You know what you have. I think they have to look. Last year, I thought the mistake the organization made, honestly, was they were too loyal to Calvin Pickard. And I love Calvin Pickard. He's a great guy. I thought they were too loyal to him. You could have brought in DiPietro. Heck, you could have called up Ingram.
Wow.
But you had Pickard here just to see what you had before you had to make a terrible trade to get rid of Skinner.
Yeah, and that's exactly. I mean, right now it'd be quite ideal to have no one under contract here, right? Sitting here would have been maybe Skinner and Ingram. They're both contracts expiring. You're sitting, okay, what do we want to do? Which way do we want to go? So now you don't. You have the buyout of Campbell. You've got Tristan Jarry's, $5 million sitting there. So it's quite a bit already. One guy is not with you anymore. The other one was here, but you're not sure what, maybe where your confidence level is in him. And you probably have to go and spend again another, 2, 3, 4 million, whatever, to bring in another guy to try to support the two guys. Well, the one guy is not here, and the other guy who is there. So it's really a challenge. And so when I look at it, yeah, Connor Murphy, yeah, let's sign him. Obviously, there's got to be a number that makes sense for everybody. But after that, everything is on hold, player acquisition-wise, until I sort out this goaltending situation. Because, it'd be nice if they could say, well, we're going to bring back Ingram, this will be it. But is that enough? You know that the play in front of them is going to improve for sure. That's going to happen because the new coach will be, I'm sure that'll be one of the mandates he has. But I think they can also, take a step and try to be, it'll probably be an easier environment to play in, but you still got to get the job done. And I think it's a complicated off season for that reason.
Jason Strudwick joins us here, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Struddy, you look at the Cale Makar-less Colorado Avalanche. It's only one game that we know he's out for sure, but I look at Vegas and I'm like, there's not many games where you get kind of a gift of the other team not having their best. You got to take advantage of it. I don't know if Vegas can win the series or not, but they lose tonight without Makar. I think their odds are much lower.
Yeah, it's tough. So is Stone playing? I don't think Stone's not playing, is he?
No, but he didn't play last round either.
Yeah. So, I mean, it does even out a little bit. I mean, Stone's a really good player, but specifically for Colorado, they have Malinsky. He's a good player, and he caught my eye earlier in the season, and he can move the puck. He's pretty solid back there. You got Kulak that, ate up a ton of minutes in that final game for them, and I believe the game winner. A couple other guys in Burns and Manson, obviously, were a veteran, and Tay. So you got some pretty good guys still, but it's not Makar. But to be fair, how good has Makar really been? I think he has 5 points. Obviously, that I think it's the shoulders, creating a lot of issues. So it's not like you're losing 100% Makar and he's out. He might have been a 60% Makar, which is still pretty good, but it's not the 100% Makar. So they've been functioning without the elite level Makar for a good stretch here. These other guys have been taking on more minutes, but it's a new team, and you got Marner playing really well, Eichel and these guys. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. But either way, let's say they're able to pull one out, and Makar comes back the next game, you've got to make him suffer. And you got to finish hits on him for sure. But getting a win without Makar would be massive for Vegas.
Oh, it would be huge, right? And there's other guys maybe a little bit nicked up. I know Malinsky's coming back after missing 2 games, the final 2 games of the series. And, we'll see. Injuries are part of the playoffs. They always are. But, health, Struddy, is the one thing you cannot prepare for as an organization, because you can have depth, but when you lose your number 1 defenseman and everybody has to move up, now your number 7 comes in, right? Your team's just not as good. It's not a knock on any team. It's just the reality of the situation. And I'll be curious if this extends into the series, kind of how Colorado overcomes. Now, Colorado's deep, and some would say, hey, they should be able to win even without Cale Makar, but that's a guy who plays 25 minutes a night, right? It's a pretty big blow.
Well, everyone gets moved up a spot, right? And it just makes your team not as strong. It's just like if you lose number 1 center or a second center, and you look at the Wild, they never really had a number 1 center. Well, they didn't. They had a lot of 2, 3, and 4, and that's okay. But the top teams do have a number 1 center. So everyone is just slightly slotted out of position. And it's a problem. So, you got to find a way to get through it. And, again, the guys it's Devon Toews. He's still a pretty good player. He's Olympian. So it's not like you're dropping down to a 5, but it's just not quite the same. And then those minutes when he's not out there just aren't the same for the forwards.
Looking at the East, Carolina, Montreal, and the Hurricanes have played the fewest games possible to get to the conference final. Montreal's played the most games possible to get to the conference finals. Now, Montreal has played the number 2 and the number 3 seeds, if we're going from just points in the East, and Carolina, who is the number 1 seed, has played 8-6. Ottawa was supposed to be a really good defensive team, and they actually were okay defensively. They just couldn't score to save their life. What do you make of this series? And do you think Montreal, how are they going to slow down the Hall, Stankoven, Blake line?
This is a really fun series. I'm looking forward to this one. And yeah, you're right. There's no doubt that the path that Carolina had to this final was a lot easier. But they earned that, right? That's just the way it goes sometimes when you do better in the regular season. Montreal's had a tough grind. So does Montreal have a lot left after 14 hard games? They're pretty young. I think they'll be fine. Dobish has been, he's had some big moments for them for sure. But I think that what Carolina's going to try to do is just keep the pace on them all the time. Just keep coming at them. And then the line you highlighted is a line that does it as well as any of those 4 lines for Carolina. They just keep bringing the juice every single time they hit the ice. And it's hard to play against that. Now, Montreal does have some pretty mobile D-men that can make plays, thinking Lane Hudson or Noah Dobson, these types of guys. But Carolina's going to want to try to, attack them off the rush, make those D defend and get in the offensive zone and cycle it. Cycle around, moving pucks around, high to low, east to west, all that kind of stuff. So that's a really tough one. The other side is, if you're Montreal, you've got some talented players too. So get in there and make those guys defend. The best way to not get scored on is just playing other teams' end. So they'll be working on that as well. But this is a tough series. I picked Carolina in 6. It's a bit of a cop-out maybe, but I like Carolina. I think I'm picking a little bit with my heart to Carolina to get to the final.
Oh, yeah? Why is it? Because of Hall?
Yeah, I'd like to see Taylor Hall get it.
Yeah.
I'd get a chance at a Stanley Cup. Whoever comes out of the West is going to be tough. It's going to be really tough, obviously. But yes, I'd like to see him get a Stanley Cup. Is the Canadian thing? I guess I get into it a bit. I'm not that really excited about it. If it's not your hometown, I guess it's Canadian. But Buffalo's right across the border. It'd be the same if Buffalo wins. I don't know. I don't get super excited about that.
Fair enough. Struddy, did you, because I know you're a basketball guy, have you happened to watch either one of game ones of the conference finals?
Well, I watched, I didn't get a chance to watch last night. I was out golfing, just tearing the links up. But I watched the fourth quarter and the double overtime, OKC and Spurs. It's must-watch TV. It is. I can't wait to watch it tonight. That is, those guys, the way they're playing, they're so young. And Wemby, he was getting, he was getting guarded by Caruso, and who was a pretty big guy, but he looked like he was playing with his little brother. And it's so much fun to watch. And when Wemby stepped over half and shot that overtime 3, I just couldn't believe it. Like the confidence that guy has, and he's kind of growing in front of us. So that is an unreal series. It feels to me like whoever wins that wins the championship, but I'm not an NBA expert, that's for sure. But man, is that good basketball.
Oh, buddy. Hey, you look at Wembanyama, just an unreal game 1. The Knicks comeback last night was freakish. And the Thunder and the Spurs, 2 62-win teams, man. You don't see this very often. We're talking a few decades to see 2 teams with this many wins go head-to-head. I'm just the Thunder, it's early in a series, but you're at home. You got to win tonight.
Oh, yeah. They got to get a win. And I think, Shea, I thought was having a kind of a tough time. Obviously, when you have a 7'5" tree standing in there, he's trying to get his shots off. So I think that they'll look at ways to get him easier looks. Towards the end of the game, it looked like they were trying to draw Wemby away from the basket with some guys. So they'll probably try to do that again. Now they'll adjust to him, but I would look for Shea to have a bit of an easier game getting looks and shots at the rim tonight. Because you're right, if they go down 2-0 to that team, are you going to beat that team 4-5? It feels unlikely.
Now, Struddy, I know that you've joined a men's league for golf this year. And do you have are you charting all of your scores now? Are you gonna mark a handicap for yourself this year? What's your plan?
Yeah, I've got it. I've got the app up and running, and I think I'm at 12.5 right now. So not off. I'd love to try to sneak into single digits. Kind of like my body fat right now, and so I think I can get down to that number for both. And if we can, that's a pretty reasonable. My goal is to try to break 80 this year. I haven't done it for a few years, so pretty close last night, but not quite there.
So when you say are you at the point now? Are you the guy who's like, no, I can't take that score because this is my handicap. Is that what you are now? I just want to, because those guys are the worst. Oh, no. I can't take it. Did you just shoot an 8? Yeah, but I can't mark an 8 because it's my handicap. No, you shot an 8. That's what you shot.
Yeah, you're talking about the Kevin Karrases of the world, right? He can't hit the ball over 175 yards, and he can't take a 7 or an 8 on a par 5, which takes him 4 just to get there. So I just take whatever I get, I put it in. Like, that's your score. That's the score. I don't know. I don't understand that part of it enough, but I just want to be truthful just for myself. Like, I'm not trying to beat anyone else. I'm just trying to improve on myself, right? Self-improvement, summer of 2026.
Have you ever had a hole-in-one?
No, I was talking about that last night. I was pretty close last night, maybe 18 inches away, which is, whatever. It's like
it's really not that close.
No, it's close. I've been in a while. So you're trying to get small wins, but I'm on the back 9 of my golfing career, right? It probably started at 8 or 10, and I'm 50. So I don't think I'll play another 40 years. I guess maybe, but pretty incredible physical shape for sure. But that seems a little bit optimistic. So I got to get one the next probably 20, buddy.
Yeah, maybe. Well, you know what they say though, Struddy? The higher that the handicap person, your odds are better. They say more hole-in-ones come from people who shoot over 100.
Well, how many do you have? You must have a ton.
Dude, never won. No, I rimmed out once at the ranch. Yeah. That was it. Like it was rolling towards a hole and this kind of lipped out. That's the closest I've ever come. And
I know
that was that's it. But I don't. Here's the thing. Like I plan to golf when I retire, because to me golf, unless you, like if you're in a league now, you're playing a few times a week. That's the way to do it. Because golf, if you don't play, it just becomes infuriating. Like you can't get better playing. You know, like the best advice I got 10 years ago was, Gregor, you're not good enough to get mad. And I didn't like hearing it at the time, but he's like, God, he's right. And ever since then, now I'm like, you know what? How many times am I playing this year? So realistically, what should I expect to shoot? Right? That's kind of like, to me, if I break 90, I'm doing cartwheels. I'm like, I'm pretty pumped. Here we go.
Right.
That's kind of how I play this stage. But I would like I got new clubs last year, went and got a fitting, and I will say the fitting changed everything for me. The putting fitting was unbelievable. We went on our guys' golf. I didn't 3-putt once. Like the putting fitting, I would recommend that to anyone. I couldn't believe, because as I explained, it was like, well, what's your problem? I said, well, sometimes I'll putt it, it's a 6-footer, and then I'm 2 feet short. And then the next time I'm 4 feet long. And it's driving me, he goes, well, you have no feel. I'm like, yeah, thanks, Tips. But he's like, well, yeah, like the weight of your putter, like I had way too light of a putter and then everything else. And so it makes a huge difference. So I would recommend, now for a schmuck like me, I was never a great putter. I was never horrible, but never great. But the putting saves so many strokes off your game if you're not 3-putting every second hole.
No, well, that kills you. That kills you for sure. And then the chipping. I've been working a lot on my chipping, chipping and trying to just so it's shorter putts. Then the putt doesn't matter. So that's what I'm trying. But so far, slow results.
Well, Struddy, you got time.
Right. Exactly. 20 years, 25 years, get a hole in one.
Yeah, well, good luck. Good luck.
I need it.
On that one. But just remember though, Struddy, if you only focus on the end, you have to focus on the process. That's what the coach told us yesterday. You got to focus on your process. So what are you doing to get the hole in one? That's the question.
Well, not fair. I'm going to revisit that tonight in my diary. I'll give you an answer next
Write it in, Struddy. Write it in. What's your lowest score of the year?
82. Got it last night.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I was pretty happy, actually. Pretty happy with that.
So now, do you only play one course, though, now, too?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll go anywhere. I'll go and beat anyone anywhere. But right now, mostly at home. I'll take your money anywhere. But for right now, I'm just basically on one course.
Are your son's golf game closing in on your own?
That's why I'm trying so hard. That's exactly. Even my daughter, she's getting hit bombs too.
Oh, geez, that's a tough. That's a lot of dads say it's a mixed bag of emotions when your kids beat you in golf. You're kind of happy, but you're also secretly annoyed.
Oh, you're very annoyed. Yeah, and it's humbling, right? Used to be the alpha male. Now it's starting to drift. My daughter's hitting bombs. My wife. I mean, I'll beat her. That's no problem. But it's humbling. But I guess it's a good thing.
It is. It's always good to be humble, Struddy. Have yourself a great day. Enjoy the games.
Thanks, Mike. We'll talk to you later.
There you go. That's Jason Strudwick, searching for his first hole-in-one, which is, I would assume, 98% of us. Right? I never had a hole-in-one. Cons, you never had a hole-in-one?
No.
Declan's never had a hole-in-one? No. Carey's just got his first hole-in-one. Right? That's what happens when you turn 65, man. Get 65, boom, hole-in-one comes. So, Struddy got a few years. Look at that. KK just got it, what was that, a week ago?
Last Friday.
Last Friday, right? Oh.
I commend Struddy, though. Like, he said, hey, I've got men's league Tuesdays. Can I move to Wednesdays for the summer? Like, he's really committing.
He's committed. That's when you know, right? Don't let work get in the way of your golf game. That's commitment. It's the first rule of being a good golfer. Is golf first, work second. That's kind of how it goes. We'll return to the 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
A lot of you love hockey season. But when it comes to construction season, you're not as excited unless you work for GS Construction. It's true. As one season is winding down, ours is winding up with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team is hiring. GS Construction is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. GoAuto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for 2. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. GoAuto, get in the game.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Niscu, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
An electrical solar team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in-store. Overstock, scratch, and dent, and unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy for comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy for comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Jaffa Machinery. Big jobs, tight spaces, serious reliability. Emerald Equipment is your local Yanmar dealer. Compact track loaders, mini excavators, wheel loaders, tough, reliable machines built for any job. JaffaMachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
A little toe tapper as we wheel through with Wednesday afternoon. Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Are you a believer in Varsho? He's red hot. Maybe a winner in Varsho and the Jays. We'll see tonight. We got a little Varsho total bases as well as Jays win going, and also Spurs and Thunder tonight with Wemby. And his rebounds, points. He's not going to get 14 rebounds again, is he? Maybe. We'll see. Check it out. PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick. And you got 1 day left in the Bricks tent sale. And they're like, the prices have gotten even better right now. 70% off clearance items in the tent, overstock, scratch and dent. Some of the unadvertised in-store specials all over the place. So check it out tonight or tomorrow at thebrickandthebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, we're going to change the question I had written down because you already touched on Mike Babcock. So my new question for you, of course, the Oilers acquired Connor Murphy at the trade deadline. He was on a 4-year, $4.4 million contract. If you're looking to re-sign him, what is the max term and AAV you'd be willing to go with him? He's 33 years old, won't turn 34 till next March.
Who is that?
Connor Murphy.
Well, I don't want to go longer than 3 years if I can avoid it. So I'd go 3, and probably like 3.75 to 4 mil, somewhere around there. Maybe even 3.5, but like if I'm not going to lose Connor Murphy over $250K.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you right there. The 3 years would be good. Takes him to, 35, 36. I'd go a little higher. Like, I'd be okay with 4, I think. Just with the cap going up, you have a little more to work with. And I really liked his game. I think you lose him, it's a big hole in your top 4. So I would go up to 4. I really don't want to do any no movement clauses because they've been so generous with those. But for 3 years, you're probably keeping him for the length of the contract anyways. Question number 2 for you. I want to ask you, because you got 4 Oilers there, or 5, sorry, at the World Championship, Howard, Szymanski, younger guys. But for Evan Bouchard and Darnell Nurse specifically, what do you think is the best positive they can take away from this experience?
Well, I don't know. Like these guys, they've been to the Stanley Cup final twice. I think the positive part of it is just enjoying it and having fun, right? Like obviously this regular season and playoffs wasn't fun for them. So anytime you can end your year with a positive, obviously they'd like to win, but I think it's more the experience. Just have some positivity there, enjoy it, have a good time. It's much more relaxed. Like I've talked to players who go to the World Championships. Like it is not the intensity of the NHL, the pressure, anything like that. That doesn't mean the guys don't try when the game starts, but it's not remotely the same. It's a little bit more enjoyable. So that can help you. I think in the case of Evan Bouchard, it's an opportunity for him to, here's the first step to say, hey, if people don't think I'm good, I'm going to show them.
Yeah, the first one I'm with you. Like enjoy it. Catch up with a few former teammates. Obviously Dylan Holloway, Connor Brown there. I think that's pretty cool. And I would just be trying to pick things up, little things, the tendencies from some of the greats around the league, like having a guy like Sidney Crosby, Ryan O'Reilly, guys who've won Stanley Cups. I don't know how much, but just, pick up a few things to hang out with them, kind of pick their brain a little bit. I think that'd be a cool experience that they have afforded to them right now. Question number 3 for you. Who's winning the Avs Knights game as well as the Thunder Spurs, in your opinion?
Go ahead.
I'm going to take the Avs to get the job done. Even without Cale Makar, I still like that team. I think they have the guys to get it done in this one. And I'm going to say that the Thunder, I'm not saying it's a must-win, but you really don't want to go down 2-0 heading back to San Antonio. So I think you'll see a little more desperation out of OKC, and they'll get it done.
Yeah, like, hey, the Spurs have been the kryptonite for the Thunder this year. There's no denying it. And now, when you get to this level of the playoffs, adjustments are big. How can they counter? I think they would. It's hard. Like, what can you do to defend Wemby? That much different. Like, honestly, he's so big, he's so long. Like, and now the guy's shooting threes from the logo almost at center floor. Like, there's just certain times where you're like, damn, we just might have to play better. Like, realistically, he's going to put up his points. It's probably saying, okay, you know what? He'll get his. Let's just limit everybody else. That's probably what, and I do think they have to rebound a little bit better. So, but I'll take Thunder to even up the series tonight.
Question number 4. Aaron Rodgers spoke to the media today. Someone brought up the final season. He said, yes, this would be his final season. We'll see if it happens. In NFL history, fill in the blank. He is a top blank quarterback. So I'm talking numbers here.
In today's NFL?
NFL history.
Top 15.
I'll say top 5.
Aaron Rodgers, top 5 for you?
Quarterbacks of all time, second most MVPs with 4, just behind Peyton Manning. He's got the ring, obviously. He has a chance. Well, he'll be 5th all-time passing yards. He's not going to pass far this year, although Matthew Stafford could surpass him. His numbers are ridiculous. But with 12 touchdown passes, he becomes 4th all-time in touchdowns.
Yeah, they pass way more, though, in this era, right?
A lot of guys are in this era and aren't doing what he's been doing. So, for me, I have Brady, Manning, Montana, and I guess Johnny Unitas. He's pretty great.
Dan Marino is a better pure quarterback than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I like John Elway too.
Elway, yeah. I think it's a fair debate. There's lots of guys you could go with, but for me, I didn't get a chance to see them in the prime, so you kind of factor that in as well. Final question for you: Cher celebrating her 80th birthday.
Quickly, where would you put Mahomes and Rodgers?
Right now, I have Mahomes below Rodgers. Right now. That being said, Mahomes is 30? In today's standards, he could play another 10 years, a couple more MVPs, maybe another Super Bowl. The Super Bowl's that's where you'd get me, though, because obviously Mahomes has done some great things, and the Packers never wanted to do all the things to help. They, instead of drafting a player when you're losing in NFC Championship games, they draft your future successor. So I don't love the way the Packers did some of those things as well. Chiefs, pinnacle, run fantastic. Question number 5. Cher celebrating her 80th birthday today.
What?
Yeah, right. In honor of that, who are the top 3 female singers you'd like to see live in concert?
Ooh. Well, I saw Lady Gaga, and I was blown away by how talented she was. So she'd be in there. Are we talking all time or active?
Go all time if you want.
I probably would have liked to seen Mariah Carey, excuse me. And if we're going all time, there's some greats going back. I just like Aretha Franklin. I like that genre of music for certain. So I guess I will throw her in there as well.
Yeah, there's a lot. Shakira, I think, would be great to see live. Lauryn Hill, and then
Lauryn Hill, good pull.
Go Rihanna as well. Those would be my top 3. Yeah, Lauryn Hill, and then she was touring, and I didn't go see her, which is kind of disappointing, but maybe in the future.
There you go. The other one, Adele.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she can sing, man. She can sing. So, quick break. We'll come back. Mark Spector joins us next after Connor Halley. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. If you're looking for a bit, go see Mike and the gang down at Northgate. Get his thoughts on coaching, building a team, and also maybe right now 0% finance on heavy-duty trucks. Long overdue. Get that right now, northgategm.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game 1 of the Western Conference Final tonight from Denver. Avs and Golden Knights. Puck drop just after 6 o'clock. Cale Makar will not suit up for the Avalanche in the association. You got Spurs and Thunder. Game 2 San Antonio currently leading 1-0 tip-off 6-30. And in the majors, Blue Jays back in action, taking on the Yankees once again right now, delayed due to weather. We'll join that game in progress immediately following the Jason Gregor Show. A couple games going on right now. Mexico, the Nationals 3-1. Braves lead the Marlins 3-1 in the second, and the Tigers and Guardians currently scoreless. PWHL, Montreal is looking to claim their first Walter Cup tonight as they take on Ottawa, currently leading 2-1. That one gets going in a couple minutes' time. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. And here, Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call-solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis. They're some of the most common issues.
Sports 1440.
I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
From the locker room to your radio.
Gregor Show always brought to you by
1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks Famous Tent Sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. And unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set. All of this for less than $1,500. Only at the Bricks Tent Sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Island Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5.11. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having an awesome Wednesday. Of course, conference finals kicking off tonight in the NHL. You also got game 2 of OKC and the Spurs. You got a little Jays in New York tonight. We got CFL preseason coming up this weekend. You got F1 in Montreal. Man, there is a lot going on right now. Heck, you just had the PGA Championship. You had the Preakness. Like, if you're a sports fan, there's no shortage of sports to get you excited. Not to mention, we have the World Cup a few weeks away, starting June 12th for Canada. Canada does have a friendly in Edmonton coming up on the 1st of June. So I think that'll probably start to see the excitement level pick up. But I think it's going to be a big deal. I really do. I think people are going to be into it. I would hope you are. I'm going to be. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully Canada gets their first ever win at the World Cup on the men's side. Be great. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you're having a lovely Wednesday as we get to the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists, and they are hiring. As go to gsconstruction.ca, look up careers, and they have job openings for pipe layers, operators, top men, and those just looking to start a career. gsconstruction.ca. It's Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Joins us, Spec. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, Jay. I'm actually retiring from the sports journalism gig now. I just fixed a hydraulic pump on my boat from leaking, and I think I'll now go into maybe hydraulic engineering or boat management. You know, I'm pretty much, I mean, it's as good as a Red Seal, I think, what I just did there.
Dude, there is, when as a guy, there's, and I think most guys listening, like when you fix something, like you just, like, man, I was joking about the other day when I got and I cleaned my garage floor, like I'm talking, I could have eaten off of it, like clean. You walk around that thing, you're just like, God, I feel like I accomplished something. Like there's just something about it. But when you fix something, oh yeah. Yeah, like I helped, I fixed a carburetor on my lawnmower a few years ago. And now I was a farm kid, but I never fixed a carburetor in a lawnmower. And that was one where I was like, I should just be a heavy duty mechanic now.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Like, especially when you could have paid some guy at the boat shop $500 and he'd have done exactly what I just did. It wasn't that hard. So anyway, there's been a lot of failures, my friend.
Oh, God.
Boat owner. You know what BOAT stands for? Bust out another 1,000. So this guy gets to keep his hundies in his pocket for at least one more day, my friend.
Oh, there you go. That is a win. So now, did you YouTube it? How'd you figure out how to do it?
I have a neighbor. We looked at it, and then he went to work, and he left it there sitting there. And I thought, well, I got to be able to fix this. So I farted around and put some hydraulic fluid in and got her running. And then it started leaking like crazy, and I figured that out too somehow. So it wasn't very hard. Tighten some stuff up, and listen, I'm a hero. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. I'm a mechanical hero today.
Oh yeah. Did you send pictures to your wife?
Oh no, I just walked in the house and informed her that I'm retiring from sports.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm sure she was excited about that. She's like, great. Now can you clean the toilet? And you're like, wait a sec. One thing at a time here.
I'm even celebrating with a cold beer.
I see that. Nice. The playoffs get back tonight, and Colorado, Vegas, and when you think back of the press conference yesterday, did he hint that when they're done the playoffs, they'll grant Cassidy permission, or is that just wishful thinking by people?
Yeah, I don't know that he hinted that. He said he would address it, or I'm not sure.
No, because what he said was, I've told teams who have asked for permission that we're focused on the playoffs, and that's our focus right now. So when the that was because I watched his press conference. Like, it was hilarious. He had this written statement. I'm like, you got to write this down? Like, this isn't that hard to remember. Like, come on. But anyway,
And
had
then
it written down, and then they're like, we're not taking any questions on John Tortorella and what happened after the game, and we're not taking any questions on Bruce Cassidy, but here's our statement. And it was, I've told teams that we are focused on the playoffs. And then I told Bruce that, and they all understand it. And I'm kind of like, do they? But either way, that's their right, and they're allowed to do it. But so when the playoffs are over, does he just say, yeah, well, now we're focused on the offseason?
I don't know. Like, that's it. What, at some point, he's going to have to free Cassidy up here. I mean, I guess, or Cassidy has to, I didn't even know if you would have an opt out of his contract.
I talked to a few contract lawyers now, and all of them told me, until I see the contract wording, I don't know. But you would rarely, and their argument was this: if you have coaches who can just opt out of their contract at any point and there's no repercussions, they're not going to want that either. So he didn't think, usually he says when there's a contract like this, the one who's paying you to say, hey, you know what, Mark Spector, you're here now, we're going to pay you. And if we decide to relieve you of your duties, you know what, it's by our choice. You can't just choose to relieve yourself from it unless it's mutual, right? That's usually, this is what they told me, right? And so they've done a lot of contract lawyers. I've never done it. So, but they said it all depends on the wording of it. And so in the future, if any coach is worried about something like this, he said, in the future, I would just have wording that states, if I'm relieved of my duties, I will be granted permission to talk to other teams, right? He said it could be very simple, but if it's not in there originally, there's really nothing you can do to get out of it.
Yeah, well, it's never been necessary to put it in there, because every NHL owner that, so far in the history of the NHL has actually cheered for that Bruce Cassidy to get off his payroll and get paid by somebody else, right? The minute Bruce Cassidy gets a job, if he makes $4.5 million somewhere else, Bill Foley in Vegas doesn't have to pay him $4.5 million anymore. So owners are always like, let's hope our guys get work. Daryl Cates would love for Chris Knobloch to get a job right now. He'd love that. It'd save money. So this is a very rare occurrence. It's really the first time, certainly in my career, I can ever remember it. And it will lead the Coaches Association to probably try to invent some wording so that this doesn't continue to happen. It doesn't happen anymore, because I don't think it's kind of stupid, but coaches don't want this. And what the coach wants is to get paid. Like Chris Knobloch isn't going to work this year, it doesn't sound like. So he's looking to get paid, and that's fair. Bruce Cassidy wants to work, and he doesn't, he wants out. So there's got to be universal wording that works for everybody. I'm sure the lawyers are working on that right now.
Yeah. When do you think is too long, where the Oilers would have to say, you know what, we're moving in a different direction and we're not going to wait to interview Bruce Cassidy?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, on one hand, I'd say when everybody starts getting hired, let's say someone hires Bruby and someone hires Laviolette and somebody hires, I don't know, who else is in the boat here? Are we talking, I don't know who we're talking about. I heard your Babcock stuff. That's insanity. I don't know where that came from, but that's as dumb an idea as I've ever heard. Is Barry Trotz in the mix? I don't know. Is Gerard Gallant in the mix? I'm not sure. So my point would be, if the guys start signing up elsewhere, Stan Bowman might get nervous. But if everybody else signs up and Cassidy's still out there, maybe he trusts that at some point he'll be able to free that guy up and get him. So, I'd say this, Jay, I wonder what Stan Bowman's lawyers are telling him on this thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. That one, I'm sorry. Like, he hasn't won a playoff series since 2014. But
Babcock,
he got hired and fired in the same offseason since his last coaching gig. Remember that in Columbus? Like, it shouldn't even be like, even talking about it for 30 seconds is a waste of time for me. It's not, I don't even think it's a realistic option. It'd be foolish, in my opinion, to do it. So that's what I would say about him. I think like if that's who you're looking at, you're focused solely on one thing. Oh, you got to be a Stanley Cup winner. Well, then to me, you've already weakened your coaching search because you're ruling out a lot of potential really good coaches.
Yeah, I just want a veteran guy that's been around. And frankly, all the veteran guys that have been around have won Stanley Cups. You know, Berube won a cup, Laviolette won a cup, Cassidy won a cup, Barry Trotz won a cup. You know, there's not a ton of guys that satisfy me in terms of their experience and their work experience, teams they've worked with, star players they've worked with. There's not a bunch of those guys out there that don't have Stanley Cup rings, frankly. You know, most of the best guys do. I mean, I don't think Daryl Sutter's in this thing. He's not, I understand, but there's another guy. He's been around a long time. He was a veteran coach. He also has a couple Stanley Cup rings. So I think they kind of go hand in hand, don't they, a little bit, Jay?
I don't know, man.
Find me a guy that's coached a long time, that's a veteran, that's out there right now that doesn't have a cup ring. Like, who would he be?
Yeah, well, hey, look at Paul Maurice and how many years he had coached before he won, right? And so it's, you know, does that mean he wasn't a good coach for the first 20 years of his career? He didn't win until I think it was year 22, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, like there's lots of guys who've coached. It's hard to win, right? Like only one guy every year gets to win, right? And you could be a good coach and not win, and then you win once, and all this. It's just kind of odd to me that sometimes I think I do believe it's no different to me than, oh, this guy won a Stanley Cup and somehow his career is way better than a guy who didn't, even the guy who didn't had way better points and everything else. So.
Listen, I feel it with the Oilers. You know, they've done everything but win the final game to win a Stanley Cup, and I see a lot of, you know, that organization doesn't have a clue, and that organization just isn't doing it right. And hey, they haven't won. They got McDavid and they haven't won, and that's just a fact. But you know, don't tell me that a team that's been this good for this long doesn't have a clue and isn't doing it right. And oh my God, they're not even close. Not even close is Toronto. That's never won more than one round. That's won 2 rounds in 20 years. That's not even close, right? That's not even close. Yeah. But teams that go to Western Final after Western Final, that go to 2 cups in a row, they're close. You can't tell me they're not close, and you can't tell me they're not doing it right. Being second best in the league isn't good enough, but it's also very hard to do.
And you know a guy who's coached a long time that hasn't won? He's had a lot of success. I think he's 7th all time, Peter Laviolette.
He won in 06.
Oh, sorry, not Carolina. Lindy Ruff. I think he's got the 4th.
Lindy Ruff,
right?
Okay, there's a guy, but he's not available for the job. He just signed today.
yeah. No, it's true. And Laviolette, like, it's funny. Laviolette, he only made the playoffs 1 year in Carolina, and that's the year they won the cup. And but he missed like the year before and then the 2 years right after. But then you go back in the last decade of his career, he's like missed the playoffs once. So it's kind of a weird thing. It's like, okay, I won the cup 1 year, but then I don't make the playoffs. So, you know, is that way better? I don't really know, but he's had a really good career. But like Paul Maurice had coached, I think something like, God, I think it was 1,800 games and hadn't won yet. And Lindy Ruff. And so those are 2 of the top 5 guys until Maurice finally won. So,
has Rick Bowness won a cup?
No.
Boy, he's been around a long time, and he's a really good coach.
Pete DeBoer is another guy, right? Pete DeBoer.
Yep.
He didn't win a cup.
Excellent coach.
Yeah.
Hey, Ken Hitchcock coached for a million years. It was a hell of a coach, and he won a cup.
Yeah.
He won a cup.
Todd McClellan. He's coached a long time. I think he's top. He's top 20 for sure in coaching all time. I think
he won a cup as an assistant in Detroit, but not as a head coach.
Not as a head coach, no.
Yeah, so I mean, that can't be the defining factor. Let's face it. It can't be. You know, I'm just telling you that the crop this year of guys who I think meet the criteria to coach the Oilers, they just all happen to have Stanley Cup rings. So to me, it's a bit of a moot point at that point, right?
Yeah, Laviolette, Berube, Cassie, if he's ever available, and he's, that. I think if we get to June 15th and he hasn't been if spec, then that's when they probably might have to be like, okay, well, we got to make a decision here. But if until then, like I don't expect a coaching announcement anytime soon for the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, not until Vegas is out. I heard your interview with Brett Howden today, and it was interesting. I felt that's a, Howden's somewhere between. I mean, he's basically a bit of a foot soldier. He's a hardworking, good player. I know he's scoring in the playoffs here, but
he's like a
middle six
guy he's a middle six player. Yes.
Middle six player. And those guys, he's spent a lifetime in the game, and he's had to work his rear end off to find a good spot on a good team. And his opinion means a lot to me. A guy like that telling me that he thinks that's the best coach he's ever played for. That's not a small thing.
Yeah. Well, he said the most intelligent coach he's ever had. And
yeah, right.
What I noticed in the interview with Brett was how multiple times he talked about how, without just mentioning, he says, hey, you know what? Like, he holds guys accountable. Because I asked him, and I didn't specify who. I just said, does he hold his players accountable? He goes, yeah. And he says, you know what? He knows if your top guys aren't going, that he'll kind of get after him. And later on, because he mentioned it, he goes, the truth of the matter is you win with your best players, and you need your best players to be going. And if you hold your bottom guys accountable, but not your top guys, it doesn't really work. But if you hold your top guys accountable, everybody else is on like, oh my God, this guy's held accountable. Everybody else is going to be accountable. And so that to me was something that stood out in the interview from Brett. And, hey, Cassie's obviously been a really good coach. He's coached 9. When he started and ended his season, he's 9-0 as far as making the playoffs. And he's made it to the second round 6 times. This year, Vegas was going to make the playoffs, right? When he got let go. But, who knows if they would have won if he's still here? We'll never know. But, they would have at least been a playoff team. So 10 for 10. Got a pretty good track record. But also he's a guy who had to learn too, because you remember, Spec, he coached in Washington in the Yarmer Yager era. And his first year they made the playoffs. And then his second year, that's when he had that rant that basically cost him. Now, they were off to a slow start. And he went in the media and basically was saying, hey, you know what? Like, I don't care about what guys are doing personally. We got to play better. And that got him fired. If you go back and read the stories about it, because there were some players who had some, sick family members at the time. And they were just like, hey, that kind of crossed line. He was a young guy. He was only 37 when he got his first coaching job. And
so you learn by making mistakes.
Yeah. And so he coached then and got let go. And he didn't get another head coaching job for a decade later in the NHL. Like, he went back and grinded it out in the OHL and the AHL.
Yeah, so that's the kind of guy you want. Like, that's the guy that's, paid his dues, learned his lessons. And to your point about, putting accountability on his star players, I can vividly recall him I can picture sitting in the interview room in Vegas, and after another Oilers win there, I believe it was this season, and their record in Vegas is excellent. The Oilers, over the past 3 years, they've owned the Golden Knights down there. And he said right out, he said, their guys come in here and they play great. Their top guys are a huge part of these wins down here. Our top guys have to be too. That's how we're going to turn this ship around, was his point, right? If their best guys come in here and they're the best players on the ice, guess who's probably going to win the game? I'm paraphrasing him here, but he made it very clear. He needed more out of his best guys if they're going to beat McDavid and Draisaitl. And I thought, good for you, coach, because that's exactly what you do need, is more out of your best guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Spec, congratulations. Go celebrate on getting your seal, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
All right, man.
There you go. It's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Well, return, we got Cam Tate, the 2-minute warning, and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry it. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as The referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. GoAuto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. GoAuto, get in the game.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. Overstock, scratch, and dent, and unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots it. Oh no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:34. Welcome back, Gregor, Hallie, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. We got a lot of text flying in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Our Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. Now, we got a lot of texts coming in. We were talking about holes in one. Hey, guys, 2 years ago, my uncle was 86. He got a hole-in-one on hole number 3. His 83-year-old wife got a hole-in-one on hole 14 in the same tournament from Connor. What? Now, that's wild. And he got it at the Royal Victorian in Victoria. One of the best courses I've ever played, guys, from Bob. Can you imagine? Hey. Well, you know what they say, couples. Cons. Couples who golf together stay together. Actually, I don't know if anybody says that, but sure, if you're a golfer, you'd like to believe it. Why not? But that is, man, could you imagine that? What a wild day. You get a hole in one, then your spouse, and I'm guessing if you're 86 and 83, you're probably together for a while. Be quite the celebration later on that night, man. Did they have to buy a lot of drinks that day? Husband and wife? Why not? Live it up. No reason not to. Now, Tater wheeled by to tell us he also hasn't had a hole in one, so he joins a list of many. Like, obviously, the list will be way longer of those who have one than don't have one. I remember one of our buddies, like his uncle has like 7 holes in one. Which, and he goes like he's an okay golfer. It's not like he's elite golfer, but clearly he's good on par 3s. Right? Hey guys, I never got a hole in one. I got about an albatross on a par 5, which is harder than a hope in one. Hope in one. No. It's a funny chirp. I like it. It's longer. But hey, you get a 2 on a 5. Well, that is pretty good because you're getting 3 strokes. Right? You're -3 on that hole. When you get a hole in one, usually you're only -2. Right, Cons? So, I could see how you say an albatross. Just on sheer point scoring, it's lower. Unless, I guess, you get a hole in one on a par 4. It'd have to be, I would think, a fairly short par 4. I don't know, maybe one of those, those long ball hitters brings out his club and he can probably crush one, 420. If it's a straightaway, maybe you could do it.
There's only been one in the PGA Tour's history.
An albatross on a par 4.
Well, a hole in one on a par 4. Andrew McGee at the 2021 Phoenix Open. Now the Waste Management, hole 17.
Hole 7. How long is a hole?
332.
So it must be like, did he go over trees or something? Like, I'd like to see the hole layout. Was it a sharp dog leg? And he just decided to pound it over?
Great question. I'm trying to watch the video right now, and they're just showing me him walking to the hole. So I'll dig it up.
Wow. Only one in PGA history. Good find, Connor Halley. I like that. There's obviously, I would guess then there's probably been more albatrosses on par 5s on the PGA Tour than there has been holes in one on a par 4. So there you go. Because I've seen guys get an albatross. It's hard in the PGA, but I've seen one. So if I've seen one, there has to be way more. So check it out, Cons. How many albatross PGA history? Maybe I don't even know if they track that. They probably do, but we'll see. Anyway, while we look that up, let's get to the 2-Minute Warning with Cam Tate. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town, no hole in one, but hey, hasn't slowed him down. Just like being born with cerebral palsy, being in a wheelchair, doesn't affect him. Tater keeps grinding. He's always wanted to be in radio. Now, through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-Minute Warning.
I don't know how long this search will last. I don't know the minds of the men in the front office. But I know this city needs a leader. Every single episode until the Edmonton Oilers name a head coach, we will look at a new candidate. Just you and me, looking for the right fit. Here is candidate number 1. First, let us talk about desire. The pure, quiet hunger to win. Not just in any building. Not just for any franchise. One spot. One city. This candidate wants to win with his people. His friends. His blood brothers. You ever try to grill a steak with a candle? Doesn't work. Not enough heat. This guy, he brings the fire. Enough sizzle to burn the house down. Now consider the history of this game. 23 people have held this specific dual role in the National Hockey League. It hasn't been done in the NHL since 1969, when Charlie Burns did it once, played and coached for the Minnesota North Stars. But then came 1972. The World Hockey Association fired up. The player-coach was reborn. Bobby Hull, Johnny McKenzie, Harry Howell. No preparation, no roadmap, zero safety net. They just took the ice and ran the bench. Then came 1977. Glenn Sather pulled double duty. He did it right here for the Edmonton Oilers. Some folks juggle chainsaws for fun. A player coach? That's juggling the chainsaw while riding a bicycle. Not easy. Still, it got done. Things fell apart. Then they came back together. Remember our candidate today. He wants to win. He wants it down in his bones. Everything he touches in the sport of hockey turns to gold, trophies, honors, scoring titles. He found his footing. He found his rhythm. He found his greatness. But maybe he takes his desire to the next level. Maybe he continues playing while coaching. Let us see if he takes the coaching role for the Oilers. Let us see if he can take all that gold and turn it into silver. 35 pounds of silver. So who is the man? The new head coach for your Edmonton Oilers, Connor McDavid. 2-minute warning, you've got Gregor. Haley producing. Kruger, he owes me an email, but I ain't gonna hold my breath. Did that at birth. Look at me now! And remember, no hot dogs or beers until the story's written. Oh yeah, Sports 1440.
There you go. I like it. Quick final break. We'll come back. A wild story in NCAA that we're going to touch on and more when we return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You're both missing out. Wilhauk Beef Jerky is the real MVP.
When it comes to tailgate snacks, there's only one unanimous pick.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. No barbecue required. Wilhauk is ready to eat before we head to our seats.
Bring it to your next football tailgate.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
New at Papa John's. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Everything is going to be okay. Any business, regardless of size, can stumble occasionally. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. If your business is facing financial challenges, our team of chartered insolvency and restructuring professionals have corporate debt recovery solutions that work. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. Chances of a positive outcome increase if you engage Faber sooner rather than later.
For many families, the stress of divorce can throw your life out of balance. The loss of a relationship, ongoing conflict, mounting legal bills, and uncertainty about the future can feel overwhelming. Hi, I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. At Fairway, our team helps you restore balance through mediation, negotiation, and a unique step-by-step process. With 2 offices in Edmonton dedicated to serving your needs, our goal is simple: to help you navigate a path back to peace and clarity. Visit us today at Fairway Divorce.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks Famous Tent Sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. And unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set. All of this for less than $1,500. Only at the Bricks Tent Sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott.
The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Fuel prices got you down? Subaru's here to pick you up. Subaru's electric and hybrid vehicles will save the day, helping you go further for less. Prefer a gas vehicle? Subaru Crosstrek and Impreza are built to keep costs low without sacrificing capability. Crosstrek was named 2025 Auto Trader Best Subcompact SUV, and Impreza has earned top safety pick recognition for 17 years running. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.547. Hey, guys, I've never thought about McDavid as a player coach. Think it could work? No. Quick answer, no. David's got a lot of pressure on him already. He's wound pretty tight. I think the last thing he would need is more responsibility. Probably less would be better. Right? That's how I would look at it. I don't think it would be a good idea. And let's be honest. Actually, I don't even think it's legal. I don't think you can do it anymore in today's NHL, actually. So we'll see. Lots of other texts coming in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, during COVID, I had a perfect shot on 2, and it hit the pool noodle on the hole and bounced out. Still this day, I can't claim it, but I want to. It was a slam dunk denied because of pool toys during the pandemic. Yeah, that seems like well, where did it hit though? Pool noodle's pretty long, right? Hit 3 feet off from where the hole was? That's a question. Hey, Gregor, McDavid coaching is more ridiculous than Babcock. I would tend to agree with you. And Babcock is extremely ridiculous. So, come on, people. What are we doing? It's not a good idea. Not a surprise based on the last series, but it's official now. Mark Stone is not in the lineup tonight for Vegas. No Cale Makar. So Taves will play with Malinsky, Kulak, and Burns, Ockon and Manson. Wedgwood's going to start in goal tonight for Colorado. And, of course, Colorado's top line, McKinnon, Aitchison, Landeskog. You got Nelson, Roy, Lehkonen. Lehkonen's back in. That's a big boost for them. Kadri, Nichushkin, and Colton. And then Drury, O'Connor, and Parker Kelly on the fourth line for the Avalanche, who are pretty deep, I would say. Pretty deep. And if the Golden Knights, I think no Cale Makar tonight, you got to find a way to take advantage. Eichel, Barbashev, Dorofeev, Carlson, Marner, and Howden. Hurdle with Saad and Sissons. Dowd, Kolazar, and Cole Smith. On the back end, McNabb and Theodore. Hannafin and Anderson. And Hutton and Dylan Coughlin. And, of course, Carter Hart will start in goal tonight. And we also have NBA Game 2 in the Western Conference. The Thunder and Spurs. Even if you're not a basketball fan, I would recommend watching that game. It'll be, if game one was any indication, and really the series, and this really comes down to, can the Thunder solve the Spurs? They haven't had an answer so far in the regular season or through one game of the playoffs. Now, it was an double overtime. The game was very close, so it's not like they're far away, but you got to win. You have to win. Hey, Gregor, just don't give Babcock your phone password and everything should be fine. Could you imagine that? Like, what? Oh, my God. Like, it's like the thing. This was after he'd been reprimanded, people. Like, what else do you need to know? Right? Like, come on. It's Maya Angelou says, when someone shows you who they are the first time, believe it. So, believe it. Hey, guys, I know a lot of people are talking about Murphy, and I agree. I think they got to re-sign him. What about Dickinson? How high would you go on him? Well, now that's a great question. I like Jason Dickinson, but people are talking like $5 million. I don't really like, I find AFP analytics, like their projections always seem to come in high. Now, all it takes is one team. But Jason Dickinson, like, I like him as a player. As a third line center, I think he's pretty solid, but he's a third line defensive center. He's not even a third line center who can bring you some offense. Like, he's had the 1 year, he had 22 goals. The rest of his career, 6-67, 9-65, 7-51, 5-62, 9-78, 7-59, 6-47, and well, I guess it's 7-64. Right? Now, there's a few things in there. 67 games, 65 games, 51 out of 56, 62 out of 82, 78, 82, but then 59, 64. He's been injured. So he's 30. And I can understand why Jason Dickinson, and I've said it, I would totally respect his decision if he went to free agency. You're 30 years of age. You might get a home run. If not, you'll still get a really good contract. Like, it's not like he's not worth $3.5 million, right? That's what he'll get for sure. But 5, eek. Like, that's, I would have to pass on that, because I could say, you know what, we'll get through with other guys, and at the trade deadline, because we'll have cap space, we can get a third line center then. Because it's not for 1 year. And this summer for the Oilers, as much as it's about hiring a coach, they can't have management having big swings and misses on contracts or trades. Can't do it. Like, their moves have to be good. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Enjoy the games tonight. NBA, NHL, MLB. Should be fun. Break it all down. Special guest joining us tomorrow on the show. Here's the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by GoAuto.ca. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, you name it. They have over 15,000 to choose from at 73 different locations. Find the color and the model that you want at GoAuto.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game 1 of the Western Conference Final is going in about 10 minutes' time. Avs and Golden Knights from Denver. Cale Makar will not play, nor will Mark Stone for the Vegas Golden Knights in the association. You got Thunder Spurs.